What's happening, everybody? So today we are in a very special place, in a very special location, with a very special man. We are here with Manny Cushman, a legend in the space of real estate. But his story wasn't always legendary. It is now, but we're going to talk about why it's so important to have your head fully around the fact that quitting is just not an option. That's where we buy heavy.
Oh yeah,
because that's the stabilized market.
Yep, you can add a lot of value too.
Yeah, and they don't move as fast. They don't turn over. They don't lose their jobs.
Yeah.
So what we like to do is to have the people that work at the hotels. Like that's who we want to have as our tenants.
Of course.
Because if like the hotel goes down, like they're still going to be working, and so that's what we like to do.
I've never really got into hospitality because I just seen so many of them get in trouble.
I've got one investor. He's a billionaire. It's his whole market. So that's the only reason that I'm even going to bring him to him, because they're off market. I know he's.
All Indians love hotels.
I know, and it's so funny. He's not Indian. His wife's Indian. He's from the South. He's just this like regular old old school guy.
Yeah, one of my neighbors is Patel. They own like 500 motels and hotels. He's got one of the most expensive homes in my neighborhood, so I guess it's lucrative.
Yeah, but I just don't like it either. I love multifamily commercial. Yeah, it's where it's super easy for me to add value.
It's easy to get in and easy to get out if you're doing it right.
Yeah, like you do a little bit.
Easy to get out. Yeah.
No, and there's too many moving parts. I like the real estate where I can control.
Yeah, 100%. Is my mic on?
Yeah, you're perfect.
Are we good?
Yep, I think we're good. Yep, perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah, all right. These are for you too.
Yeah,
these are for you. This one is actually signed by you. Here's a company that we do a bunch of stuff with, and they'll send you these things for free. And so this is a scan, and this will download your books straight to somebody's phone for free.
Get out.
Yeah, and this is this guy's company, Love Handle, and like. This just goes on your cell phone, but it's awesome for marketing.
Way to market.
I'd be more than happy just to like set you guys up and connect you.
Yeah, thank you, man.
What's happening, everybody? So today we are in a very special place, in a very special location, with a very special man. We are here with Manny Cushman, a legend in the space of real estate. But his story wasn't always legendary. It is now. But we're going to talk about why it's so important to have your head fully around the fact that quitting is just not an option. So, Manny, welcome to the show.
Yes, thank you. Welcome to my man cave.
You have an incredible man cave, my friend.
Thank you. Yeah.
This man loves luxury cars, and you've been kind of obsessed with cars for a long time.
For a while. Yeah. Probably I would say the past 15 years.
Yeah.
Is when the addiction kicked in.
Yeah, and you know what? There are so many people that have certain addictions that are healthy and certain that are unhealthy. Yeah. This is a very healthy addiction.
Oh yeah, right? I've been fortunate enough to actually, they became good investments.
And that's the thing too. And there was one, I think Bugatti that you got. I think it was $3 million, and somebody offered you $6 million.
It was the Pagani.
It was the Pagani.
Yeah, it was actually this one right
that
here.
One.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, I'm good. Like, that's
They offered me $5 million. Yeah. But it took me like a year and a half to like build this car. It was the collaboration between Hermes and Pagani in Italy, so two different countries, and all the struggles. I went to get these two companies together, and then of course I'm doing more collabs now. It's easier once you break that ice between the two companies.
Very true.
But so it's kind of like watching your kid, born and then growing up. Do you want to give it up? I mean, at some point, if somebody offers me a ridiculous price, like 10 million or 50 million, of course I sell it,
And that's a smart investment. I look at the exact same way with real estate. Like, it's just my kids, right? So it's like an extension of my family, and I take really good care of my buildings because it's a really good investment.
Yeah.
A lot of cars are not good investments, which for sure we're going to touch on later, because I talk a lot about why don't you have your tenants buy you a Lamborghini instead of buying one yourself. We can actually talk about that in a little bit. Maybe walk the audience through who you were as a boy I love your backstory. I always get along and can always relate so much with people that came here with nothing, because that's how I was raised. Yes, I was like born here, but we didn't have anything, and we had to like, you know, fight and grow. So you came here from Iran when you were 14?
Yes, I came when I was 14 with my parents and 3 siblings. I was 14 years old, and basically to avoid going to the army and war, Iran and Iraq war, and you know, my dad having 7 brothers, you know, a few of them passed away from injuries in the war, and my dad, you know, I was my dad's favorite. And 2 weeks before my 14th birthday, which I would have become illegal to exit the country, my dad decided to bolt. So
he risked it all for you.
Yeah, and I think that, like, I didn't really realize the extent of like sacrifice and, you know, just guts, you know, took for him to do that, until like I arrived here, and I'm like, whoa, this shit's real. You know, we're sleeping in a car, we don't have any money. So that like kind of became my motivation and kind of like forced me to become a man, you know, in a few months. So it was a lot of pressure, a lot of guilt. Obviously to see, you know, my sister was 6 months old.
Oh,
you know,
wow.
To see like a, you know, your baby sister crying all the time, and, you know, just it was not a good, you know, period of our life. And I kind of, you know, sometimes block it, you know, your subconscious want to block, you know, trauma.
I got the same stuff. I get it. I understand.
So it was a lot of trauma and traumatic period for us. But I turned all that to motivation, you know, and, you know, I didn't speak a word of English. So that was like really hard, because you feel you're handicapped, you know, you can't really communicate. You can't ask questions, you don't know where, you know, what to do. And so, but I was lucky my dad, you know, was fluent in English, and he was getting the newspaper every day looking for a job, finally landed a job as an accountant. That's what, you know, his degree was in. And then after 2 weeks, you know, he got his paycheck. We were able to, you know, secure a 1-bedroom apartment, and all 6 of us moved in.
That's what you did. One big happy family.
Yeah, that was in Costa Mesa, and Costa Mesa, California, right here. And so from early on, I knew I had to like do something, right? Everybody sacrificed for me. They suffered. So I was always looking to, you know, reach that financial freedom. You know, it wasn't because I was, you know, I just woke up and I saw a Bugatti or a Ferrari. I said, you know, I want to get rich. You know, it was because of desperation. And sometimes, you know, they say you always, you know, realize and bounce in life when you hit bottom. And to me, that was like bottom when I see everybody suffering. So, you know, I don't know if you want to call it luck or what, but after a series of failure,
there's no way it's luck.
There's no luck.
There is no luck. I mean, man, can I relate? And I've got so many people that are really close to me. It's like, Andy, you're so lucky. And I want to grab them by the face. And I'm like, if you would have spent 6 hours in my world at one point, you would have quit.
Yep, 100%. 100%. I mean, if I was lucky, my first 10 businesses would have made me money, right?
Mine didn't. That's the only way to really learn, like, is to fail and fail quickly.
Absolutely. So I'm 14 years old. We moved into a 1-bedroom apartment, and every time I take the trash out, I see people leaving, you know, household stuff by the dumpster. And I couldn't realize, I mean, we don't even have a dining table, right? But I saw a dining table and chairs. I mean, the chairs were beat up, and some of them were, you know, falling apart. But so I told my brother, I'm like, hey, you know, we don't have a dining table, so we hauled it back to our apartment. But after we furnished our apartment from stuff by the dumpster, we end up piling up in the patio because, you know, we didn't. And then after like 3-4 months, I'm like, we got all this stuff: toasters, TV, radio, you know, all this stuff. And, you know, my parents used to always take us across the street to Orange Coast College. There was a swap meet on the weekends.
I used to go there when I was a kid. I know
No
it well.
way. Yeah, so like
we had nothing, so that's where like we used to go buy stuff.
That's so funny. Wow. Small world.
I'm telling you. It was from Long Beach, and we drive all the way. It's so funny you mentioned that. It's crazy. And we and that's where we get clothes and stuff for really cheap.
That's funny. Yeah. So I bought my first dumbbells from there. You know, I think
I used to get weights there too. When I
paid $1 each or something.
Yep.
I should have kept those dumbbells.
I know.
So long story short, I see people are selling used stuff, and I'm like, we got all this stuff in the patio we piled up for the past 3 months. I told my brother, let's just get a space here. So we rented a space. I think it was like, I don't know, $10 a spot. And then we hauled them across the street on Saturdays, Sundays, and that was like my first business, you know. Cost of goods, 0, and somebody else's trash is your fortune.
I love that hustle because
Yeah.
like, it still works. That
It still
same
works,
hustle
yeah.
still works today. It's actually a lot easier because they got this thing called
Online.
Facebook.
Online.
There's
Yep.
people that post that stuff to just
Yeah.
drive to their house and pick it up for free.
Yeah. No, I mean, technology now is so much easier. People say, oh, yeah, you made your money when it was easy to make money in real estate. Now it's super hard.
Dude, anybody ever says that to me?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm like, are you kidding me? It's so much easier now.
It's
you network
way
with
easier.
people. Just find a good deal and network with someone that has the money. Put A and B together. Boom.
That's how I built my entire real estate career. I didn't
Really?
have
Yeah.
any money, so I would go out and find
Yeah.
the deals, and then I would go find the money for the deals. It's not the money that gets it done, it's the deal. I learned
There you
really
go, yeah.
quickly,
Yep.
there's a ton of money out there. There's not a ton of deals. If you become a
Exactly.
deal junkie, you're good.
Yep. 100%. You nailed it.
It still works.
Yeah, still works. And people, the people with money, they always love to make more money.
They want to give you,
Yeah.
they always want to
So
have
you
solid
just-
investments.
Yeah, just provide the opportunity and they'll fork over the money real quick.
I agree. I agree. No, I love it.
So that was my first job, I guess first business, and then when I was 16, legally I was of age of, legally to be able to get work.
Mm-hmm.
So I, applied for Kmart and I became, the regular stock clerk, cleaning floors, collecting shopping carts.
Mm-hmm.
And then within a year I got promoted to assistant of sporting goods,
Mm-hmm.
assistant manager of sporting goods. And but I knew from early on, I don't want to work at Kmart forever, right?
No,
So
but you learn skills. Like,
Yeah.
you start to learn, like,
how to communicate, how to
Of
negotiate,
course.
how to how to be appreciated. Working for somebody else, I was always early to work, and I always stayed a few minutes late.
Me
And
too.
the HR lady told me, "Can I ask you? I'm not going to pay you if you stay 15 minutes over. You have to clock out. But even after you clock out, on the way out, you collect shopping carts while you're waiting for your parents to pick you up."
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, "Oh yeah, I want to."
it
be a
speaks
better
to your
person, yeah.
character as a human.
Yeah.
Like, you care so much about, that's the part that's impossible to teach, right? There's a pride of your job or where you work. Either you have it or you don't. There are a whole bunch of restaurants that I still walk through all the time.
Yeah.
I walked, like, it's like burned into my head now.
Because you see all the flaws, yeah.
I pick up trash off the
Yeah.
floor, and because that's what I did in my restaurants when I used to own them. But like, it's because I just have an appreciation for someone who's trying to work hard.
Yeah, because you build that habit, and it's you. It's part of your genes,
It's-
Yeah.
I totally agree, and it works. So then you are going to be like a manager, but you're like, you know what?
Yeah.
I don't want to be a manager of Kmart. That's
Yeah.
great, but you had some obviously much bigger
Yeah.
aspirations.
Yeah. Well, when I became a sporting goods assistant manager, I realized all the guys that came out and buy the expensive radios and expensive fishing reels or shotguns. We sold guns too, and I realized they all, like, when I help them out to their car, they have like Porsches. They have Ferraris or brand new Mercedes, and I always ask them, I say, "Hey, what
What do you do, right?
And they all were self-employed.
That's right.
I'm like, they don't work for nobody. They work for themselves. So it was like inked in my head, like, okay, to get wealthy, because my goal was to get financial, reach that critical mass of not needing money anymore.
Freedom.
Abundance of freedom, yeah. So that was planted. So I started getting the LA Times OC Register on Sundays, and I started looking for business opportunities and see if I can, start a business. I saw this company selling door-to-door stuff, and they said, "Hey, be your own boss. We sell you the goods. You go get your own customers." And they were selling at the time nuts, pistachios, cashews, trail mix. So I applied, and it said $500 a week. At the time, I was making like a little over $100 a week. I was making $3.15 an hour. So I'm like, wow, $500 a week. That's like 5 times more than what I'm making. So I called them. I went for an interview. They hired me. Within 3 months, I was like their top salesperson.
Of course, because you're a hustler.
I was hustling.
Yeah, I get it.
I was paying 200%.
Yeah.
And then one night when I'm with my dad at Price Club, before Costco was Price
I
Club.
remember Price Club.
Yeah, so I did quick math, and by now I was 18. I did quick math on the cashews. I'm like, hey, the cashews 3 pounds is for $3, and these guys are selling to me for $6 a pound. That's double the price. So I said, I already have all my customers.
Opportunity. People that have this kind of brain, you can see opportunities where others can't.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta train your mind and eyes to always improve, right?
Agreed.
So I'm like, hey, if I can improve my profit margin by buying from Price Club, I already have my customers. So that same night I went home, I opened the Yellow Pages, I looked for polyester bags because they used to make polyester bags. So I found a place in Santana that sells polyester bags, and then I found a company that sells a sealant from the bag company that sold me the bags.
There you go.
I said, hey, where can I get the sealant? So, oh yeah, here. So I got that, and then I went to Stanton, got a small little warehouse. My dad had to co-sign for me, and have a place to pre-pack. And
That's such a cool little city.
yeah,
I love Stanton. I used to own some
most people
buildings
don't
over
know
there.
what's a Stanton.
Love that area. It's a really, really cool little city. You can get
Yeah.
some great commercial real estate there, as I'm sure you know.
100%. Yeah. So I did that. So I was in business for myself. It was unlimited wholesale product. UWP was name of my company. I got my license. The one thing I didn't know, every time you repackage food for resale purposes, you need to have a health permit. And
Oh, the
I didn't
health
know that.
department.
Health department. So I'm into business 3-4 months into the business. I'm making $4,000 or $5,000 a month. I had 4 employees.
And you're what, 19?
I was 19 at the time. Yep.
It's big money back then.
Yeah. Huge. Yeah. I was like, I felt like,
I did it. I get it.
I felt like a Scarface.
Yeah, of course. You're like, look at all my money. And you can just have huge bags of nuts everywhere.
It was such a fun period of my life because I was a boss. I had employees, and even though I wasn't still fluent perfectly in English, but I just felt powerful.
And there's pride that comes with
Yeah,
that, right? Like you
absolutely.
feel incredible.
Absolutely. So one day, I ended up selling nuts to a health inspector, and he was at my office the next day. With
You sold nuts to a health inspector?
Yeah.
Like out of all the people to sell them to.
Yeah, I was at a hamburger joint. While I'm waiting for my hamburger to be well done, I went around and sold nuts with my nut basket, to everybody in
Which
the restaurant.
again is a huge opportunity, not to just
Yeah.
sit there. You saw opportunity somewhere else.
Exactly. And then the guy I sold to, he ends up, working for health department of Orange County Health
What are
Department.
the odds?
So he came over the next day, goes, hey, I didn't find your permit on file. I'm like, what permit? He goes, oh, you need to have a permit. I'm like, I do? I didn't know.
Yeah, for what?
So he gave me a big packet. He goes, it's all the requirement. He goes, you can't be open for business until you get this establishment approved. Blah,
Yeah,
blah, blah.
it's a huge
So
pain.
I took it home with my dad with review. I'm like, forget it. There's no way. I mean, we can't even afford all this. It has to be
Well, yeah, and then
yeah.
you have no more margin. It's gone.
nothing. So that was the end of it. Was very sad, but I had like $20,000 some saved by then. And then my dad's best friend.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, I was 19, and my dad's best friend says, hey, I sell gas stations all the time. That's what I do. You could get an SBA loan, a small business loan for a gas station with 90% financing. And with your, how much do you have? I said 20 grand. He goes, oh, I can easily get you in a gas station.
Perfect.
I'm like, okay, awesome. So after a few months, he found us a mobile gas station off of Crenshaw and 405. We went to escrow. I was so stoked, excited.
That's a great area too for a gas station.
Yeah,
Busy.
Yeah, so there was a Denny's, and then there was a mobile gas station. And back then, the oil companies were selectively picking some locations to get modernized, with digital pumps.
Swipes.
And then the minute that happened, because they paid for all of it, mobile company paid. You would pay for the snack shop, they pay for all the pumps. And they would double, triple the value, right?
Nice.
So this broker says, look, I have a very good hunch they're gonna pick this location in a year or two. You buy it now for 180 grand. I could flip it for 600 grand when it becomes
Perfect.
ours. I'm like, this is an awesome opportunity. So long story short, the guy that was doing my SBA loan turned out to be a fraud. And I lost all my money after, it was a 90-day escrow. And that gas station did end up being modernized.
Oh, no.
Within a couple of years. But it was a blessing in disguise.
They always are.
It had a 3 mechanic bay shop. Had I bought it, I would probably be, working there as a grease monkey, changing oil stuff. And next, 10, 20 years goes by, I still own a gas station.
That's how my friend's dad. I mean, he's very happy, very successful guy, but he came here with nothing. He bought a house and he bought a gas station. And then he bought the dirt and he sold it for like, I think $2 million. But like he could have, who knows where he could have been.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. So that was that, and then so that was my first major failure. I lost all my money.
Those sting. The first ones sting.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a first love that breaks your heart.
Well, it's not just that. It wasn't because I failed at myself in a business. It was somebody scammed me.
We got fraudstered. That hurts even
That
more.
hurts more,
because,
betrayed. Yeah,
and it hurts your ego too. You're like, I should have seen that coming.
Yeah.
But now it'll never happen to you for the rest of your career.
Yeah. So I called one of the customers that bought a lot of nuts from me. The guy was a manager of a Winston Tire in Montebello. So I used to go all over the place. I went always San Diego, Pomona. I went to all the auto centers. I sold nuts to mostly auto dealerships. So I called.
It's smart because you like cars. You want to go sell to those customers. That makes perfect sense.
I called Ruben. I'm like, hey, I got scammed. Blah blah blah. He goes, why don't you come here? For now, you need to make money. You're completely gone. All your money's gone. Why don't you come and work for me? I love your energy. Blah blah blah. So I went. He hired me as an assistant manager of a Winston tire shop. And within a year, of course, I was, one of their top salespeople, and they moved me to locations that was underperforming. They moved
so you could get them up again?
Yeah, that 170 locations, and then there was a few locations that were losing big money because the managers weren't really upselling. When a car comes in, you do inspection, you upsell it.
Of course.
Better tires, brakes. Sell them
everything.
Everything.
Get them
bumper to bumper.
Get them either here.
Yeah.
I get it.
So I was always upselling. So long story short, I did that for about a year. Then I got into other businesses. I tried life insurance. I tried, prior to going to Winston Tires, I tried LA Times too, selling subscription. So that taught me a lot too until I got bit by a dog. But
go like door to door doing sales?
Yeah.
There's something about somebody who can go and sell something door to door where every person is a stranger.
Different.
Yeah.
Different personality. You don't know what to expect.
And you get this metal and you get this armor about you where you're like, you can talk to anybody anywhere because most of your day is talking to strangers.
Yeah.
And that's such a great networking tool for business that most people think, and they're petrified of it.
Yeah.
Most people hate to speak in public or go talk to strangers.
Yeah. And then, especially for me because my English is not fluent. And there was some discrimination back then. I mean, it still is.
It's still here. No,
so
I know
used to
it's
get
terrible.
called all kinds of stuff like even when I was selling nuts, walking to a dealership, there was one dealership. I don't want to name the brand, but it was in Tustin Auto Center. And when the guy was like real, rude to me. He goes, "Oh, get out of here, you camel riders!" All this stuff, and then. I remember he was in front of all the salespeople on the floor and the secretary. So I was like,
I just got goosebumps. I'm like, I would go back and attack that guy later.
So I walked out. That was like a defining moment for me too because I walked out like I almost had tears in my eyes. I'm like, fuck man, why do I need to put myself so low to go beg people to buy bags of nuts? When I want to like have so much money, I don't give a shit. Just like have the money work for me.
That's right.
So that was like a defining moment. But long story short, after that, Winston Tire, I did a few other businesses. And then a mutual friend, had a Porsche Cabriolet and he's always had money, nice suits. So I asked my friend, hey, what does your buddy do? He goes, oh, he owns a mortgage company. So I'm like, loan company. So, we became friends. I told him, hey, I love to learn, I love to come work for you. So he liked my personality, high energy, he hired me. Within 6 months, I was his best processor. I was processing loans quick. I was early, clean, everything organized.
Seems to be a pattern with all of your successes because you're willing to work hard.
Yeah.
And you're humble and you're probably coachable and you're willing to learn.
Yeah. Well, I always tell people, be a sponge. You can never learn enough.
I agree.
And always put in more than 100%.
Always.
If you're doing those two, it's inevitable. Your success is inevitable.
It's just time at that point.
You're just going to keep going up and up because you're always improving yourself and you're always searching to learn more, right? And you're putting more energy into it. So it's what you put in is what you get out. So after 6 or 7 months, I saw how much money this guy's making and I learned the whole business, right? So then I realized I needed to be a broker to open my own mortgage company. So I partnered up with a broker and opened my own mortgage company. And in the first year, we did $290,000. I was 23, I think I was 1992, 93. Yeah, I was 23 years old.
It's big money in the...
Yeah, so that was my first big money.
I have a lot of money now.
Yeah, it's not 20 grand, it's like 150 grand in my checking account.
Yes.
So, but sadly, rates went up. We were focused on refinance, not so much on purchases. So in 94, when Greenspan took the rates 50 basis point.
I know,
so
I remember.
we had like 80, 90 loans on boards. It was all at float. Because we were waiting to get them to before, like getting it before docs, like do a 12-day lock and 15-day lock instead of 30-day lock, you get a little more rebate.
Of course. So I know the game.
Yeah. So long story short, all those went dead. I told my partner, fuck, what are we gonna do?
80 loans dead.
Yeah, so we said, oh, next FOMC meeting, they're going to drop the rates. Nope, they went another quarter point. So we ended up closing the mortgage company. We had 300 grand between both of us saved. And we saw, 99 cent only was very popular, and they were popping all over the place. I'm like, why don't we do 79 cents plus, 20 cents cheaper. It's teaser anyway, you get people.
It's for marketing, right?
Yeah, you sell maybe 10 product at 79, but it's plus, So long story short, we opened one in Santa Ana. It did amazing. It was making like 20, 30 grand.
That's a great place to open one too.
Yeah.
Great city.
On First Street. And then we said, hey, why don't we convert to a supermarket, because we see everybody buying a lot of produce and meat, it's that, in that culture, Hispanics, they love to eat.
Everything's around the food and family.
Yeah, so we did that. We made it into a supermarket, and then within 2 months, Food for Less opened right next to us. Yeah, and our sales went down 50% on the same weekend. I was like shocked. I'm like, somebody put a knife right in your gut, right?
I know. Here's something I really want you guys to hear. He went from doing loans, making tons of money, and then put it into a grocery store.
Completely different business.
Like, you couldn't get into more of a different zone. But business is business is business. Like, once you understand that there's a bottom line, there's margins, once your head is around that, you can take it and just do whatever you want with it. Sometimes it works incredibly, sometimes it doesn't, but you still learn.
Yep.
So many people get stuck and they're like, all right, so I need to go find a new company to go work with and do this same thing again, which is mortgages. But that business was actually dead at the time, so you just pivoted. You just course corrected and went in a different direction.
Yeah. So long story short, within 3-4 months, we start being, we went in the red. From making 30,000 a month, we were actually losing like 10,000 a month.
Oh, dude, I hate that feeling.
My partner's like, okay, within 8-9 months after that, my partner's like, it's not for me. He stopped coming to, to the market to pitch in and help. And I was working 7 days a week. So I ended up buying him out, I think for $15,000 or whatever.
Like, see you later.
Yeah, because we had a lot of accounts payable. It was piling up. The cash flow was negative. So he didn't want to put more money in there.
So you still bought out your partner when the business was in the red, because you knew that you were either going to figure it out.
Yeah, I didn't want to fail. I didn't want to close it.
I'm with you.
It's like giving up.
I get it.
I'm not going to give up, man. I know Food for Less has 40 locations. I only have one.
I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah. So it took me about a year to turn it around, and I had to basically have my parents come over. I laid off 4 employees, which was sad, but I had to
do what you got to do,
right? So, and then I started advertising. I was losing money. I'm like, let me lose just a little bit more money and advertise and give away the product to get the sales up. Because if it has revenue, then you can sell it. Yeah. So I did that. After a year, about 14-15 months, I sold it for $185,000. Yeah.
Got out.
So yeah, I got out. Plus inventory was another 100,000, so I got like 285. But I had accounts payable.
So many people would have quit, man.
Oh,
they would have just.
Even my own parents, told me, why don't you just file bankruptcy? Because it got to a point I sold my house, my cars. I lived in a 1-bedroom apartment, and I was like renting from a budget rent-a-car, putting it on my Amex because I couldn't afford a car. I was trying to just push it another 30 days, And I remember I used to go to the bank before 10 a.m. to cover my overdraft so I don't bounce. And I used to go before 4 p.m. to post whatever cash I had in register.
So it wouldn't go till the next day.
Next day.
I know, I used to do the same thing.
Yeah, so it was like a vicious cycle, and it went on for like 8-9 months, 10 months of the year. But long story short, I used to go to work out at nights at 24-hour fitness after I closed the registers, like 10 p.m. and just run on a thread and say, I want to sell it.
That's something that's so important to me. One, I absolutely love to work out and I'm obsessed with it, but it's that manifestation of, because there's been so many times in my life, that's all I had was my vision of the future.
Same here.
That's it. Like, I didn't have anything else.
Yeah.
I would put together these humongous, like, crazy boards and vision boards, and I would write everything out. And I'm like, I'm gonna figure this out.
Yeah,
I love
working that. Working out, everybody thinks it's for bodybuilding. It's really for your mind.
It's my mind, my energy.
Yeah, it makes you, sharper, and also gives you like confidence. If you can work out and improve your body, You're saying, hey,
Feel
you see
good.
results,
You
right?
see results.
Yeah.
It just adds to the confidence. I've got these non-negotiables every morning. The first thing I do is a 10-minute meditation. Like as soon as my brain wakes up, 1 in the morning, 3 in the morning,
Yeah.
and then I sit in gratitude for 5 minutes. And I just
That's
kind of
awesome.
reset,
Yeah.
and then I work out
Awesome.
every day, no matter what.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I don't meditate. I should meditate, but I work out 5 days a week. Weekends I'm off. You know, it's
That's
my
good, though.
it's my cheating days. You know, with my kids, I wake up, go have breakfast with them. But yeah, long story short, I sold it, and then I owed $180,000 on my credit cards. I was paying 22% interest rate, and yeah,
And you still didn't BK.
I was negative net worth. Yes.
Yeah,
And
but
I
you
said,
stuck with it.
You know, if I file BK, this country is built on credit. And you know, when I owned a mortgage company and I was, taking people's loan apps, and I saw people that got turned down on the refis, it was always because of credit,
Yep.
lack of income, or credit, those two, right? And I said, okay, credit's so important in this country. I'm gonna, preserve it, whatever it takes. Whatever it takes.
And you did.
Yeah, I did.
You sold everything
Yeah.
to just preserve your credit.
Yeah. And
And you would have never known that if you hadn't have owned a mortgage company.
company.
So like these dots,
Yeah.
man, are all connecting.
It's true.
I love it.
You know, as you climb the mountain, you learn with every stepping stone,
100%.
And so what happened after that, I put the money, I saw everybody's making money in trading, day trading stocks.
I remember those days.
This was 1999.
Yeah.
And so I opened the E-Trade account, and I put the $185,000 in there.
All of it. You're like, I'm all in.
All in. Yeah. No guts, no glory.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I have gear 1 and 6. I don't have 2 through 5. I'm either kind of thinking about it or I'm all in and I burned all the boats.
So I got, I guess that you can call lucky. The timing was good, because if the market had crashed right when I put the money in, I would have had.
You just still figured it out,
figured
though.
it out, yeah. But long story short, I bought a lot of stocks that end up splitting 3-4-1.
There's a lot of tech stocks splitting back then like crazy.
Yeah. So by September, I saw my account grow to almost triple. I'm like, this is too good to be true.
It's too easy, right?
Too easy.
I'm so good at this.
Yeah. So it scared the shit out of me. So September, I took all the money out except 80 grand. I left in there. I said, if it's gonna keep going up, I can restart with 80 grand. So and then I called my landlord that I used to have the supermarket. It was an old Jewish guy, super sweet guy, and he always told me, he goes, what are you killing yourself working 7 days a week? You should own real estate. I came here when I was young.
Best mentors.
So
I got the same advice when I was 19.
That stuck in my head. So when I was ready, I called them. He sent his top broker, and he found me 3 value add deals. I picked one, ended up being in a Whittier, city of Whittier.
That's a great area too. I still do a ton of business in Whittier.
Really? Oh, wow. Yeah, so I bought that, and I bought 2 bank-owned homes, fixer-uppers.
Perfect.
And that's how I started. But I didn't make my first $1 million on a single flip until a year later. It was 2000. I saw a property on the same street I used to own my supermarket. There was an abandoned building that was amazing location. It was a whole block, but it was boarded up for like 2 years, and nobody knew who owns it, what happened to it. And I saw a guy changing the locks with a locksmith because it was across the street from the mailbox, post office.
So you run over and go talk to
I
the guy.
run over there. I'm like, hey, are you the new owner? He goes, yeah, I work for El Dorado Bank. We just did a trustee sale. We took the property back. I'm like, fantastic, dude.
I want to buy it.
Yeah. Like, I was like, whoa, my God, it was like a blessing in the sky.
I get it.
So I got the guy's phone number. He goes, Walter Pagel at CB Richard. I was gonna handles all our distressed sales. Call him. So I called the guy. He goes, I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what this building is. They haven't given it to me. I'm like, they're gonna give it to you. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Can we do lunch?
Yeah. Let's go do. Oh, I love it. I'm the same way, man. I love that.
You gotta hunt. When you go hunt, you don't sit back. You gotta go for it.
There's literally this one show that we have. It's called Real Estate Hunters with
Get out.
me. It's a show I have on
funny.
YouTube. I go hunt real estate.
That's
Some people hunt game. I hunt buildings,
That's me too.
and I film it.
Put it here, man.
Because that's the part no one wants to do.
Yeah.
That's how I literally got the house that I live in now with my family. It was on market for 3 hours. They had 16 offers, all cash. I was going over there. I'm like, this is my home for my family. I don't know how I'm going to figure this out yet.
Yeah.
And there was
Did you recommend non-refundable deposit?
of course, $200K, all cash.
Yeah.
she was putting away a trash can or something like in the neighborhood. I go, excuse me, miss, do you know like what's going on with this house? I mean, there wasn't a sign or anything. She goes, yes, my husband's the listing agent.
Get out.
And like, I was get goosebumps even telling the story. Like,
see, it was meant to be because you put the energy out there, you wanted it, and you know,
and I'm just willing to do more.
Yeah.
Like, I would always go and like find a building. Okay, who owns the trust? Who's the attorney that even wrote the trust? I mean, I'll keep digging until I get somebody on the phone.
Yeah. Wow. Good for you, man. I mean, that's deep hunting right there.
Real estate hunting with Andy Dane Carter. It's on YouTube. Go check it out.
That's awesome.
But it's just fun for me. So, dude, I completely relate to you. And then, so then, that was a building that you actually got under contract with CBRE.
Yep. It was CB Richard Ellis was the listing agent. So I ended up buying that. I want to just basically emphasize the importance of credit. Because this time I made my biggest chunk of money on single flip because of my credit. So I bought that building because I had the supermarket a few years prior. I applied for SBA
Oh, it
loan.
shows, right,
Yeah,
exactly.
SBA loan. So I bought it as an owner-occupier. I was going to open another supermarket. And so I got a loan. I only put $67,000 down. I bought the building, and I got, you know, I kind of got lucky too because on the title report, they found some substandard liens because the previous owner had taken out a bearing wall. So the bank says, oh, I'm sorry, we can't sell you the building because it's unsafe. We got to do some stuff, and then we're going to take it back to the market. And I hired an attorney. I'm like, no.
This is mine.
This is mine. I mean, you have to, you have to deliver with a free and clear title.
Clear title. I love clouds on title because it gives me time to maneuver.
So he gave me a 7 to 8 months before they did all the modifications.
And then they have to because it's now their asset. I love it.
Yeah.
And now it's the bank's responsibility to make it safe because you already have it under contract.
Absolutely.
My man, I love that.
So that was like my little mini lotto. So I bought that, and then within a year later, I sold it for $1 million more. So my 67,000, made me $1 million because of my credit. My credit was good. I had filed bankruptcy. I had closed that supermarket down. There's no way a small business would give me a loan.
So all the fighting, all the grinding, all those hardships, all those long nights, selling the cars that you had worked so hard to get, selling the house just to keep your credit good.
Yep, 100%.
That's why it's so important to get into real estate.
Yeah, that's a compromise sometimes you got to make in life, So that was my first big break, financially cash.
Right, because you have $1 million liquid, right?
Yeah.
You can do a lot.
I had equity in my shopping center and the 2 homes, but it wasn't $1 million.
Yeah.
And it wasn't liquid, So I took that money and then I went to Long Beach and I started looking at.
It's my city. I'm third generation Long Beach. I love that city.
So
that's
I
my
went to
zone.
90802, 90804, good zip codes, by the Ocean Avenue. I bought some in 90805 North Long Beach, but it was bad credit tenants.
Yes, lots of them.
I had a lot of crime and bad credit, so I ended up owning almost 200 units.
Oh,
but
shit, that's
how
a lot.
I built it up was I took that $1 million and I started writing offers. I would look on MLS, see there's a 12-unit apartments, let's say on Locust Avenue. This is the first one I bought. 12 units, they wanted 850, they had dropped it to 750. I offered them 600, 7-day closing, just clear.
All cash.
All cash.
People, my friends, when you're looking for opportunities, you want to find stuff that's been on market for a long time, probably somebody who's owned it for a long time, has no more depreciation, and they're looking for a quick out.
Absolutely.
And then you come in and do your magic.
Yeah, absolutely. So I did that, and I'm like, wow, they counted me 700. I'm like,
that's still well below.
Yeah, then I counted them 675. I ended up buying it for I think 675 or 650. From 600, I went up 50 grand. Anyhow, I bought it, I closed it, I did some minor landscaping, remodel, and paint, and then I bumped up all the rents. $100 a unit, and you won't believe $100 a unit. It made me extra 300 grand on the floor.
I did not pay him to say this. I talk about this constantly. There's a thing called the gross rent multiplier, which GRM. It's I always get goosebumps talking about it. I talk about it a ton in the book.
Best magical number.
No one talks about it. I talk about it like crazy now.
No way.
Because paint, landscape, and you take low-paying tenants, you raise their rents $100 a door. The bank looks at it as it's another 10 to 15,000 per year that it just got. All I'm doing is I'm raising the value of the asset, just like you do. And then Once that starts to make sense to you, that's all you look for.
100%. And I just continue to do the same thing. So that was my first apartment in Long Beach. I ended up doing 20, 30 apartments, and I grew my money to $4 million.
That's the hardest thing to do. It's super hard to get to your first million,
Yep.
and then it's hard to get from 1 to 5, and then from 5 to 10 is another tricky zone.
Yeah.
And then after you hit 10, it starts to kind of go like crazy.
You start buying
cars
Bugattis.
like this. You start buying one-off Bugattis.
So I realized, okay, apartment is very management intensive. I had like 200 units. I sold those. I 1031 exchanging to, I started looking at other states because California by 2004 was getting pretty lean. You know, there wasn't enough margins.
It was the same thing in us in 2012. So we went to Cleveland pretty heavily.
Really? Yeah.
They're buying like way out of state.
Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, why don't I start looking at, medical buildings? Because medical, doctors have a lot of vested interest in that space. It's not easy for a dentist to get up and unscrew all their medical equipment and move across the street, right?
It's smart. It's a massive business now, as I'm sure you know. But it's
so I bought 4 medical buildings, anywhere from 4 to 5 million each. So I bought about $20 million in Arizona in 2004. I flipped those. I made like $8 million in 1 year. I'm like, wow.
Right before the crash.
Yeah. And then in 2005, I started looking in Houston because Arizona is too small. There's not enough listings. So I looked in Houston. At that time, I was, only specifically looking for office buildings that had high expenses per foot, that would lower the expenses, and I had rents below market. So you improve those two, and boom, you got a huge margin.
And then you just call the bank, hey, I need you to come look at my asset. Give me my cash back so I can go buy another one, or you flip it.
Yeah. So I bought 3 buildings. On my first flight, I never forget, I took a flight from Orange County to Houston International Bush Airport, and looked at 3 buildings. The listing broker picked me up from airport. I looked at 5 buildings. I ended up buying 3. It was all the same seller. It was a small fund, Caldwell Watson fund. I bought 3 buildings for $9.6 million. I saw the expenses are super, heavy, fat. That property manager is paying him ridiculous salary commission.
That's the easiest place to start trimming the fat.
It's ridiculous. So asset management fee, this, that. I bought those 3. I reduced the expenses, and within 7 months, I sold them for $13.9 million.
That's great.
So I only put 25% down. So I more than doubled my money in 8 months.
Cash on cash.
Yeah. And then I took that money and I started buying high rises because these were 3-4-story buildings. I started buying 12-story, 10-story to 12-story. And then within 3 years in Houston, I got up to 2 million square feet and $130 million.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
It's the same amount of time and stress and energy to manage a 4-story as it is to a 24-story.
Exactly.
I try to tell people that, but no one understands it.
Yeah, if anything, it's easier to make money on a larger building.
There's more room.
There's a lot more room. So if, like for example, like my electricity bill, I was paying like, let's just say 5 cents a kilowatt, and I got a new carrier it's not like California, in Texas, you bid.
You bid, That's
so
huge in Texas,
a penny, 1 kilowatt, I got it down, and that saved me like, 75,000 a year. And you take that at a 7-8 cap, that's like 500-600 grand right there, one vendor.
One vendor.
Yeah. So there's a lot of places. It's like a big drum with a bunch of holes in it. You just start covering those little holes.
A little bit of duct tape here, a little bit of duct tape there. I know.
So, and then I realized, okay, all the market's getting crazy. All these people from Florida, New York, and California are buying my buildings. They haven't even seen it. I'm like, okay, it's time to sell. This is getting
sight unseen.
Just like the stock market. I saw things.
Well, you feel it, right? You're like, something's going on.
Yeah, you have that uneasy feeling, right? So I sold, I put my portfolio on the market, $133 million. I sold everything in 2007, and I converted.
Perfect.
Yeah, and I converted. I didn't want to pay taxes, so I did 1031 exchange. I paid some taxes, but I bought 4 big shopping centers and 1 million square feet industrial. The reason I switched asset classes because those 2 asset classes tend to weather the storm much better in
a recession. I agreed.
Because they're triple net, the tenant's paying their own meter, right?
They're just set and forget.
Your expense as an owner is very low, and it's not easy for like I said, dentist or a manufacturer
to leave,
to pick up all their machinery and move. Same with retail. If you open a restaurant, you can just get up, go across the street, take off your hood and
off your hood and your whole kitchen, and all your booths.
So that saved my ass because in the Great Recession, at $250,000 a month income coming in from
All from your tenants.
my tenants. And everybody says everybody's filing bankruptcy, arguing with the banks, trying to save their ass. And I was
You
buying
were
cars.
fine because you had triple net. That's what I tell people all the time. Like, I don't care if I lose a whole bunch of wealth on paper. As long as my tenants and they're covering the asset, I can weather the storm. But if you're not positioned correctly, you're in a big trouble.
Yeah. So, a lot of times you can mitigate your risk in real estate by just simply diversifying, still in real estate, but different asset classes.
So smart.
Because I looked at balance sheet. The 4 shopping centers I bought was Food Lion centers in North Carolina, Pennsylvania. Food Lion had $4 billion on balance sheet. And, they're solid sales.
Solid company.
18 to 22 years average left on the lease. And they were occupied 80% of my shopping center. I'm like, how can I go wrong?
They're not going anywhere.
I bought it at 8 cap.
Oh my God.
So I put a low rate on it. I was getting 18% cash on cash.
I love it.
From all that millions I made. So that was a move I made that I think was a smart, and I've, surprisingly, a lot of those buildings I sold in 2007, I ended up buying 5 of them back in 2010 and 2011 from mortgage servicers. And then I made it.
I love that. And so that's the post that you did yesterday that
that was one of them. Yeah.
I loved, because when you're positioned correctly, you can take big scoops in the down market. I don't like it when the market's going, up. I mean, it's great for the asset, but to really expand your wealth, I like to take big scoops when the market's hurting.
Absolutely.
And that's when you make really, really big moves.
Yeah, you in real estate you make your money on the buy,
Always.
Because if something's worth 10 million and you negotiate the shit out of it and you buy it for 6 million, you just made $4 million because it's gonna come back up anyway,
And that's my strongest asset for all my clients, all my investors. I love to negotiate. It's the hunt for me. And I take it so personal that I have clients that are like, this isn't your money. I'm like, but I think it is. So I treat it like it is. And that's why all my investors love to work with me, because I go to war for them.
That's awesome. And I'm sure they appreciate it. Because they see how much effort you put in,
I love the hunt. I love the deal. And it closes and I get big checks and we have these assets and my partners everybody's happy.
That's awesome.
But I'm like, where's the next hunt?
That's the thing, that it's addiction, but it's a good addiction, if you ask me.
No, I love it. Well, and that's, okay, so that speaks to you being a constant student of the game, right? You're like, okay, so I have these assets, they're doing really well. Most people sit, they're like, oh, I'm killing it, I'm comfortable. That's when you get wiped out, right? So, and
you stop growing.
Or you stop growing. And for me, that's almost worse than getting wiped out financially. Like if I think, oh, I've made it and I'm good, I'm in trouble. I'm addicted to growth and expansion as a person, just as a human being. Like, I want to be the greatest dad to ever walk the earth. I want to be the greatest husband to ever walk. It's unlimited for me.
I just posted something today on Instagram. I said people are always looking at my life or always looking at somebody else. They say, oh, that thing goes on by itself.
It's all about post edits. We're good.
So people look at my life. They're like, oh, he has a perfect life. Or they're always searching for this perfect thing or perfect. There is no such thing perfect, because even if you think it's perfect, you can still improve it.
Everything.
So there is no such thing as perfect, And so I said, just start. Whatever you're dealt, the hand you're dealt with, start improving that.
And start before you're ready.
Exactly.
Anything I've ever done in my life, I have been grossly underqualified to do. But I don't care. I'm going to learn on the go. And that's the only way I really learn anyways. I can't learn from books.
Entrepreneur mindset, jump off the cliff and build a plane on the way down.
That's such a metaphor for my entire life. It's funny. It drives my wife bananas. She goes, really? I'm like, I like it. I'm going to try. We'll see. But no, man, it's so important for you to have that mindset. Was there a point, especially in 2006 and 2007, when you're like, okay, it's time to switch classes. It's time to switch. So is there a mentor that you would you lean into, or is it just here's something that just makes sense to me?
I've seen the real estate being cyclical. My dad lost his condo in 1990 recession.
Okay, so you've seen
I've seen it. I saw my dad lost his house, and then in 94, I had my mortgage company, and I saw a lot of people on credit report that foreclosures from early 90s. So I've seen the cycle up, down, up, down, up,
So you
down.
saw all the flags in 07. You're like, it's time to go.
Every time I see the real estate market went up in 2004, when it went back up, I'm like, okay, this is little bit abnormal. You know, people are just buying my building, $10 million from Florida, and the guy hasn't seen it, and he puts a non-refundable deposit. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense.
Those are the red flags.
They were all in 1031 exchange, and they were in a rush to buy properties, right? They don't want to pay uncle stamp. So I'm like, okay, this is way too much. You know, it's a frenzy, right? And so, I mean, my gut told me, you know, it's too good to be true. You know,
It's usually right.
You need to, you know, reposition your investment. So that's why I sold everything from high rises, and you know, truthfully, you know, the triple net properties, you know, whether they're so much better during recession. So that worked out great for me. And now I'm looking to do it again.
It's coming. It's coming. I've been talking about it a lot for like probably the past 2 years. Is I've been putting out content really hard, saying like this is the first time in our country's history that we have a tech bubble. We have
all asset classes are involved.
all asset classes are in trouble.
Bonds, stocks,
everything,
tech,
real estate, and we have
and debt too.
$3 trillion in
deficit,
student debt.
Yep.
That's becoming a major issue.
Yeah.
And I've been talking about it heavily because
Car loans too,
car loans, everything right now. And you now have social media where people are going into massive amount of debt to look a certain way.
Yeah.
And you said something on an interview, it was a while back, that like you would never buy something unless you could like, you know, buy a bunch of them, exactly, all cash.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting in this next one. I think it's going to be chaotic, and I can't wait.
Yeah, and you know, people keep saying, "Oh, when is it going to happen?" Well, I don't know. You know,
it's going to happen when it happens.
But why do you have to know when? Just be prepared when it happens. Take advantage.
That's what I tell everybody.
Yeah.
This is the longest growth cycle in our country's history as of last month.
Yeah.
Like, so this it's impossible for it to keep going up.
Absolutely. No, I agree. And you can see the cracks in the, you know, in there already.
I have my finger on the pulse pretty tight. There's all the red flags are there.
Yeah. And you know, when the Fed starts, you know, easing on rates, they already see we're in trouble.
And
the Fed's
barely
always behind.
And it barely did anything.
Yeah.
If this would have happened 2 years ago, there would have been a buying frenzy like we've never seen before.
Yeah.
But I mean, it barely did anything over like the whole summer. And that actually leads us into a really cool part of the show, which is asking you some questions from the audience that you guys claimed, that you guys actually wrote in. This one actually comes from somebody from CB Richard Ellis. His name is Dan Blackwell. Shout out to Dan.
Dan.
He's one of, if not the top, he does like 2s, 3s, and 4s, 8s. I think he goes all the way up to 20 units here in Orange County. Awesome guy, but he gets some incredible deals. He said, let's see here, because he asked a couple questions. Here's the one that I think will stand out the most and probably help. Where do you see the opportunities over the next 5 years? What product type, class, and locations?
Good question. Well, I see it in office and retail, believe it or not. You know, if you look at, you know, all the retail landscape that's changing more like outdoor instead of indoor. Malls used to be indoor, now everything's outdoor. The Grove, the District. When you look at all this, even office space now they're mixing, you know, residential, you know, restaurant, entertainment, and office
all in the same places
together. Yeah. I mean, Hudson, I think it's Hudson River or Hudson Yard in New York.
Yeah, I've got some friends that have some incredible properties over there. They're crushing right now.
Exactly. I mean, there's a lot of markets that are starting to go into that direction, development. So there's a lot of properties you can take, you can transform them, and to what's trendy, like right now, WeWork, you know, I'm
massive.
doing 10,000 square feet upstairs, and just making more creative. Back in the day, you know, people used to, you know, fight over a corner office with a view and have those walls and privacy. Now it's the other way around. Everybody wants to open, they want to negotiate. Even going to restaurant, I'd rather sit at a bar.
It's all communal, it's more social.
Exactly.
I totally agree with you.
So I think taking a property and transforming it to what's trendy and creating value. I've done that with a property in Newport Beach that, you know, I'm selling it, you know, making a good chunk of money. And then
He's selling at the top again.
Yeah, and then I'm doing that with this building. I bought this building for $3,100,000
this
from
one?
Wells Fargo. Yeah.
What a great
it just
deal.
appraised $9.2 million. I just refinanced it because rates are low.
Great location.
And because I put money into it, made it more creative. There was so many walls here. So I got rid of all the walls. I opened it up.
Space, and it feels great in here.
Yeah.
Like the vibe and the energy in
Yeah.
here is fantastic.
So I think the opportunity is going to be in the BC product, office, retail, and transforming them into what's trendy.
I love
We're
it.
going to create tons of value.
And it's value and it's highest and best use for the asset.
Absolutely.
And if you have a little bit of vision, it's the same thing like with a house. Like, so maybe this wall needs to come down so it's an open floor plan, or what's selling in the market. Like, you don't need to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then here's another question from one of our viewers. So if you were getting started today in 2019, or even say 2020, share what you would be doing to become successful. What kind of routines and what would you be investing in?
Well, I would definitely invest in real estate.
Yes,
Nothing
always.
changes. Yeah, cars are just for fun, but
Yeah.
real estate is where I make my money.
Yeah, me too.
And I would work out like I do every day. I would surround myself with people that are successful in real estate and overall in life. And because you're always a student, you're always learning, right? Till the last day you die, you're still learning. You never stop growing. And most importantly, have the guts to pull the trigger when the time comes. A lot of times what happens is, when things are going up, people don't want to sell because they think, it's going to keep going up.
It doesn't.
And then when it goes down, they don't want to buy because they think it's the end of the world.
And they've lost their leverage.
And they lost and then they wait, they say no. And then when things come back up and everyone's buying, they jump the bandwagon and they pay too much for that property.
I agree.
So it's like, I'm a contrarian at heart. So I would say,
It's his book.
Yes. But invest in real estate. And if you don't have the money, there's tons of other ways you can get involved and do profit sharing with people that have the money. But power up, learn how to identify those opportunities. And then network with investors that have the money, and marry the two.
Yeah, I know.
Until you build your own wealth.
Until you build, and then you go.
Yeah.
I know plenty of people that started with nothing, and they would just go out, because you have two things: you have time or you have money.
Yep.
And if you don't have the money and you have the time and you have the drive and the hustle to do it, you go out and you find the deals. And that's what I was willing to do, was to go out and find the deals, and then I would find the investors and I would give them, and then I'm their best friend. My whole goal was to be part of their network. I wanted to make them so much money, they invited me to their Christmas parties. They wanted me in their world, so now I'm around the people that I want to learn from. And then I start bringing them big deals, and I'm like, here's yours, I want 20%. They're like, what? I'm like, I'll take 20, and then we'll figure everything else out. And they're like, all right, and then it changed the conversation. So for me, I couldn't agree with you more. It's perfect, and that's why real estate's so fun.
And network, it's all about network.
Your
network is your net worth.
Well, and that's what I tell so many people about, and it's never been easier in the history of the world, especially with Instagram, and we vet every person that comes on this show like crazy. We don't have any posers, anybody that's driving around with fake stuff or fake advice. And that's why it's super crucial for us to have you on here, because you've built this. Like, you've built this the hard way. Nothing was given to you. You worked your face off. And
if anything, I got nearly bankrupt 3 times.
Yeah, I know.
In the process.
But you still didn't do it. And that's the thing, is you have to push that hard, I think, to learn.
Never give up,
Yeah, you just go, and then you just become a little more resilient to the process.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you learn more. We got one more question here.
Sure.
How did you make your first 10 million? 1 through 10 is the hardest, so the listeners will see the benefit on how to keep doing that.
Yeah, my first 10 million was when I sold, specifically on one portfolio, is when I sold in 2007.
Right.
But I was worth, I think $100 million by then.
Right, and that's
but on one $10 million, on one single
deal.
transaction was a portfolio of property I sold.
So then, how were you able to, one, find the deal, but then be able to put together some kind of package for some investors? And then were those investors people that you used to do business with, or was it like friends and family?
Friends and family.
Okay.
Yeah. I own almost 85% of the entire portfolio myself.
Oh, nice.
I had few buildings where I had family friends invested with me, co-invest with me.
Smart.
But to sell it, I bundled it up and I hired the top broker, Daryl Betts at the time, and he's the one that sold it. That's the thing. When it comes to leasing and selling, I leave it up to the active brokers that they're hustlers.
Professional
I don't try
help.
to do it myself to save $2 million. I think I paid them 1.6 million commission.
Yeah.
Selling that portfolio.
But you get their whole network and you
Yeah.
get their level of
Yeah.
service.
But I made like 35 million bucks on that portfolio.
Yeah,
when
I love
sold
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the best. And there's a selfish question for me because I'm from Long Beach and I love buying real estate there and I'm very, very, very hands-on with the city. So do you still buy stuff there in Long Beach?
No, I haven't looked back since 2004 when I sold.
Okay.
But I may look at there was an office building actually I found on LoopNet. It was in Long Beach. I love taking properties that are not loved. Right
me
now,
too.
people are scared shit of office properties.
They are.
Office and retail. Big box retailers because of Amazon. The whole landscape of retail is changing. Everyone's buying online. But I like that. I like that because that creates opportunity, right?
I totally agree.
I may look in Long Beach again, but I'm gonna hit you up.
We get lots of inside deals in
Yeah,
Long Beach, so yeah,
I
we
bet
do.
you do.
we do a lot there. Well, this has been unbelievable, Manny. And
Thank
again,
you.
man, thank you so much for your
Awesome.
time.
Yeah.
Where can everybody find you on? He's huge on Instagram and YouTube and everything.
I'm big on Instagram and then on YouTube. If you want to follow me for some car action. But my Instagram handle is Manny Koshman, and then my YouTube is Manny Koshman.
Makes it real easy.
I do have my mentorship classes, online mentorship.
Oh, nice, perfect.
Yeah. So
I had no idea.
We'll put the link below.
Yeah, we'll link everything.
Yeah.
If he is going to be offering mentorship, you definitely want to jump in. Such a humble guy and such a good person.
I have thousands of people direct message me, oh, I want you to mentor me. I have this deal. What do you think is good or not? I mean, it's impossible.
That's my whole world. I get up.
Yeah.
I try. I mean, like hundreds a day.
Yeah.
And it's hard to keep up.
Yeah. So I create this private Facebook group where people network with each other and also do 1 hour live Q&A.
Perfect.
Weekly. So, and they send in their question. A lot of it is real estate. And they're like, hey, I'm buying this apartment. What do you think? Or I got this. You think I should cash out refinance on this property? Buy that. So I do respond personally
great.
to each one. It's time consuming, but I really love to give back because I didn't have anybody when I was young.
I was the same way. It feels so good to give back to people that are hitting you up.
Yeah.
And then you're changing their family's trajectory.
Oh my God, I have so many gifts and cards and letters. I mean, probably 500, And
that makes me happier than anything else.
Feeling when I read this, thanks to you, I've been following you for 3 years now, just by my third fourplex.
Yeah, and those little messages, because it's hard. This is a hard business, and there's stuff and life and kids and family.
Yeah.
And there's hard days where I'm like, look, I'm just down. I'll go and I'll start reading some of those. It picks me right back up, and I'm like,
100%.
back
it's
at
like
it.
A light switch. Yeah. But yeah, it's $97 a month. It's affordable, and I'll engage as much as time permits. But I do 1 hour live Q&A weekly, and we have 80 people.
I love it.
The Facebook group.
As you should.
Yeah, it's awesome. But
Manny, thank you so much for your time. Awesome,
my
man.
pleasure. My pleasure.
Please go get his books. Please go sign up for his thing on Facebook. This guy's the real deal.
Thank you.
And we'll see you guys next time. What's happening, everybody? Today on the Andy Dane Carter Show, we have somebody here from Nashville. We have Coach Michael Burke.
Yes, all the way from Nashville, Tennessee. And we're going to trade up. I'm going to come out here and spend more time, and you're going to come to Nashville and spend more time.
And that's exactly what we were just talking about off camera, because he came straight from Huntington Beach, where if you're not from Huntington Beach or haven't been there, it's a pretty nice place on the beach to kind of hang out and relax. So I'm sure Michael wants to get out here more.
Temperatures in Nashville right now are hot and humid.
Yes.
It's a beautiful place, right? But as soon as I got off the plane the other night, we flew into Long Beach and 70 degrees. I was like, oh yeah, this is good. I could do this for the whole summer.
Yeah, and I love Long Beach. I'm literally third generation Long Beach.
Yes.
It's just my home, my zone. I love that city. And it's fun. And speaking of home, why don't you let my listeners who might not know who you are, give them a backstory on kind of where your journey started and where the fire started to become Coach Mike Burke.
Well, there's a real clear story of origin for me. My buddy Tim Story always said that you first have a big revelation in life.
Love Tim Story. Shout out to Tim Story.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to be at his church tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
He says he's bringing me up on stage during church, so we'll see how that goes.
I'm sure.
But he says you first have this big revelation. Well, at 6 years old, My mother was a single mom, had me when she was 16 years old. She used to take me down to the local baseball field, and I would stay for hours and hours and hours while she worked a second job, okay? And it was one woman down there named Mickey Vincent, who was a female Little League baseball coach, which was really odd.
That's rare.
And this woman kept saying to me, son, one of these days, you're going to be a great coach. One of these days. And I kept hearing that. In high school, my high school basketball coach called me professor. He said, the way you think, the way you study, the way you study the game, you're going to be a great coach. So I heard this pretty much my whole upbringing. So at 15 years old, I started coaching junior pro basketball. At 18, I was coaching elementary basketball while I was in college. I won a state championship then. And then at 19, I got a call from the second largest high school in Tennessee. And the head coach said, man, I've heard about you. You're some young little whippersnapper that can really coach. Will you be an assistant coach for me? And so at 19, while I was in college, I went to be an assistant coach.
Wow.
And so I was on a fast track. I knew what I wanted to do. I found my voice early in life. So by 22, I was the head coach. So I was the youngest head coach in the state of Tennessee at the second largest high school. And it took me 10 years, 80-hour work weeks, to build a national powerhouse. And so in 10 years, I built like this big-time powerhouse women's basketball program. That school we're going to win 7 of 10 championships, state championships. So it's kind of my legacy.
I love it.
And I was using a theory called the whole person theory that I learned from Dr. Stephen Covey. From 18 to 25, Covey was the only person I studied. And he taught this concept of body, mind, heart, spirit, like how to tap into the whole person. I was using this whole person theory to coach my players, and we were winning, and I mean producing. So people were constantly asking me, what are you doing with those kids? And I said, I don't have time to explain it, man. I'm trying to win championships. So I'm going to start writing books on it. So I started writing one of what would become 14 books at 25 on really inner engineering people, competitive intelligence, how to win. That would lead me out to speak, and that would lead companies to start asking me to coach their people while I was still a high school basketball coach. So I wouldn't retire, Andy, until I won a championship. Like I'm not leaving until I do what I said to do, right? So 31 years old, I retired. I won a championship, built a national powerhouse, and then I retired and started coaching business. And so now I coach entrepreneurs, sales professionals, lots of people in real estate, lots of people in the mortgage world. My top mortgage originator is doing about $150 million a year. So I'm coaching some big time people, and I'm being connected to big time people like you. You know, like gravitates toward like.
100%, and it's such a huge part of my message is like light will find light and dark will find dark, and light will find, it's the same thing. And you kind of breezed over two things I would love to go back and touch on. He spent 10 years building the powerhouse. 10 years. And so many people will stop year 3, 4, not getting the results. It's kind of working, it's not working. And then another huge piece of that that's really, really hits home now, especially in 2019, you followed one mentor.
Yes.
Not 75 fake gurus online.
Yes.
One proven person that is getting results and has for a long time, and you got laser focused. One person, one mentor, one goal, one very clear result.
Yeah, I think you're right on. When you think about mastery, I'm big into studying mastery, and I think Robert Greene wrote the best book on mastery, and he talks about, you know, I would call it this long obedience in the same direction. You know, that's a Christian book by Eugene Peterson, but the concept is really powerful.
I like that.
When you think about mastery of something, the people that earn the most income in our society have a long obedience in the same direction.
Patience.
They find their gift or their talent. They refine that gift, hone that gift, nurture that gift, and then over a period of time they develop this primary hard skill, right, that solves a problem for the world. And that's really how they become people of interest. So for me, my first primary skill was understanding how to take people and get them to a higher level of performance through the whole person theory, right? Which is something I still use today.
Of course.
Every person is deficient in either knowledge, skill, desire, or confidence. Once I find out where the missing structure is, I can coach them in that area. So to me, building 80-hour work weeks for 10 years, that's how we built a championship program. I'm now in my 11th year of running this business, and I think you master things at 10 years, right? But only, this is a big point for the listeners, when Gladwell wrote the book, Tipping Point, he talked about 10,000 hours of practice. When you listen to Anders Ericsson, who did that study, he actually said it's 10,000 hours of deliberate practice.
Consistent.
Consistent.
That's right.
Typically, and with a coach, with a person who will correct you
And hold you accountable.
So there's a piece there that people think, well, if I just do something for 10,000 hours, I'll master it. No, you need feedback, correction, accountability, role play, testing. That's how you master something. And so I feel like that's what we did in my first career.
So glad you said that. And it is a perfect setup for what you're doing now.
Yes.
And it feeds so well. It's hard to manage people. It takes time to figure that out. But when you have a formula like you do that's worked so well, and you can reverse engineer the person, not because everybody is so different and they're in very different phases of their life. So it's very easy to look and say, you know what, this person needs a little more time at home. They're working too hard. And a little more time at home might turn their productivity at work through the roof. But they're just full gas at work so much that they're missing out this little piece. So that's the part which is so fun. Like all the different stuff that you do is you can sit there and read the people and really listen. Like true master coaches and master mentors are incredible listeners.
Yeah, and they're really good at, like I say, a good coach should help you find and fill your missing structures. And a missing structure is just a void. You know, the reason I like the whole person theory is because you can have all the skill in the world. Most sales trainers teach skills, tactics, strategies. That's good.
That's part of it.
But if you have a broken heart, that's the heart piece, or you've lost faith in something, that's the spirit piece. It doesn't matter how good you are at selling if you're disengaged in the heart, if you have a broken heart or a broken spirit. So to me, our differential advantage is we coach the whole person. We coach the whole person, which means we do teach knowledge, we do teach skill, but we try to activate prey drive in the heart, and we try to really instill a contagious confidence in people. You know, that's a big thing that we try to instill in our people.
Well, it's important. Like, life is not just business.
Yes.
It's the last thing I think about. My spiritual practice is so important.
Yes.
And it's important for me with my kids. But the first thing I do every morning is I drop into a 10-minute meditation. And then I sit in gratitude for 5 minutes. I pray.
Yes.
I work out.
Yes.
I play with my kids. I make the whole family breakfast. And then I start thinking about business. So I make sure I'm whole and solid, and I've created that space and capacity to start my business brain. 99% of people do it the opposite. What do they do? As soon as they wake up, they grab their phone. And now they've let the world tell them how they're going to live their life.
Right.
And then that becomes this subconscious infection that grows.
Right.
And I tried, like you, really hard to get people to break those patterns and have a pattern massive interrupt. But the spiritual part is so big.
Covey used to say that success in one role doesn't justify failure in another.
100%.
You can't be a great business guy and a lousy dad. Or, you know, so I'm working on a concept called No Crumbs. And it's about how not to serve leftover energy to the people you love the most.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And it's really I coach what I consider these Red Bull entrepreneurs. Like they're all jacked up on energy, but they like structure, and they go so hard that I think a real big piece of this is the energy management piece. And I go to a doctor in Houston, Texas. My wife and I are guests at a Holtze Health and Wellness Center, and this guy, like 31,000 people have gone to this guy. Does not believe in pharmaceutical drugs, all natural, right? But he really helped me to better understand that as you age, your body naturally declines. It quits producing things it needs to be successful. Cortisol, stress, handle stress management, how the adrenal gland works, the thyroid, whether men lose testosterone so they don't have just clarity of thought or drive. So he helped me understand that these dudes I was coaching, that were typically 35 to 50 years old, let's say. Some of them have just flatlined. And I kept thinking, because I'm a coach, man, this dude's lazy. But that's exactly right. And when Dr. Holtze explained that to me, he's like, no. Your mind wants to do it, but your body is telling you you can't do it. And when I went through that, it shocked me that I was low on almost everything. He's like, I cannot believe you go at the pace you go at. Imagine if you had all of these levels clicking right.
I was the same one.
What you could do.
It changed my whole world.
Yes.
And the food and the sleep and the exercise. Like I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
And I had no idea. I'm just sixth gear the whole time.
Yeah.
I have first and sixth. I literally blazed through all the other gears.
Yeah.
And because that part is so important, and so many entrepreneurs, I love that Red Bull entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
exactly how they are. It's like sparklers.
I know.
They just burn hot and fast, and then that's it. But if you can manage all of those things, but that comes with age too. I mean, I'm 42,
Sure.
and I started to realize, I mean, a long time ago, health is very important.
Yes.
But very much so as you get to that 35 range where you start thinking, all right, I still feel good. How do I feel better? And one of the biggest misnomers is I don't like to work out in the morning because then I'm tired.
Right.
It is literally the opposite.
Yeah.
I'm so much more lethargic if I don't work out in the morning, and it's like rocket fuel when I do.
Well, I think, when you're thinking about this concept of energy, there's only so much energy in a day, right? It's like a cell phone battery.
That's right.
And if you sleep right and eat right and manage this stuff, it's high when you start the day. But throughout the day, it's being subtracted. When you get involved in drama, it like eats away at that battery 2 and 3 times. But this is a big concept because this is a concept I've struggled with because of how hard I push, how hard I go, and then coming home and having a 6-year-old daughter and a wife. My wife has got a new book out. My book is Inside the Mind of a Monster. Her book is called Living with a Monster.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah.
She has a podcast too?
She has a podcast called Living with a Monster.
That's right, I saw that.
And so it's a really powerful concept. Like, how do you live with an obsessed person?
Well, it's important. My wife needs to read that book.
Yes. And one of the things she said in that book was that when she stopped competing versus my ambition and started cooperating with that ambition, that's when our relationship went to a new level. But now she's doing her own thing for women. Now she's doing her own retreats. She's got her own book. She really don't know how to do it all yet. It's like she's unclear.
going.
But the fact that she did it, I'm like, hey, you did it. You wrote a book. You're helping women. So we have a company, an insurance company in St. Louis, that they were paying me to come in and coach their people, and they said, we want your wife to come in and coach the women.
Love it.
And so I'm like, great.
Well, and it's a cool thing for you guys to do together, because now you're having conversations about how to grow her business.
Yes.
Right? And now she really appreciates your time. And now it's a different feeling. It's so funny because it was a very similar situation with my wife and I. And, we had just had Jackson. She's a brilliant woman. And she just wanted to kind of stay at home. And I go, hey, that's fine if that's your choice. But I don't want you to be like all the other moms in our neighborhood, in a very nice neighborhood, that are just kind of hanging out with the stroller.
Yes.
Because you're going to waste your brilliant mind. And she's an incredible speech pathologist. And so we started her this little clinic, tiny little clinic. Now she has 3, this massive empire, and like it's changed the way we communicate.
Yes.
It's incredible.
Well, having that purpose, as you were telling that story, my mother worked in long-term health care for years, which meant nursing homes, right? She was a nurse and then an administrator. And she said to me, at the end of a person's life, there's 3 real reasons that I see that they pass away. One, they run out of money. And because they run out of money, they run out of good care. And so it's very important. She said, because there's 1 nurse in a nursing home to every 23 patients.
Yeah.
Okay? And they don't get the individual attention they need. The only way to get individual attention is to have enough money to have home, right? Like specialized care at the end of your life. She said the second reason they pass away is they run out of love. Nobody comes to see them.
That's probably the first.
Yeah. There's no, you know what I'm saying? There's no interaction other than the peers. But she said
the spirit's broken and your heart's broken.
That's exactly right.
And the body follows.
But the third thing she said, and as you were talking about your story there, is she said one big reason is they run out of purpose. They don't have anything to work toward. And my grandfather worked on a farm. He built cabinets. He sold land. He was a true entrepreneur, but he was like a
same person. We have a very similar story. This is crazy.
I knew that's why I was here.
Of course.
But he was like a Thomas Stanley millionaire, right? Wore a cheap suit, drove a cheap car, lived in a cheap house, saved all that money, and he was always so dynamic. And I think about energy like it's dynamic, it's static, or it's entropic. Those are the states you're in. You're either dynamic and hungry and curious, or you're static, stuck, complacent in a rut, or you're entropic, which is disintegration. My grandfather worked his whole life. I remember going to his house, and he would always tell me stories. He had these one-liners, like if you got to want to, you can find a how to, and success is out there. You just got to reach for it. Like he would always tell me these things.
Those little things lock into a young mind.
Oh, it was awesome.
Like solder.
It was awesome. And then he retired, and my mother told me one day it's almost like everything in his life went downhill the day after he retired. And I'm convinced he run out of purpose.
Good.
Joe Paterno, coached Penn State, was walking 25 miles a day, 83 years old, ran gassers with the linemen.
Mm-hmm.
They took away that job. He was fired, and he was dead within 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
He ran out of purpose.
And a broken heart.
And a broken heart. So the whole person explains a lot of things. So when you're coaching your wife there, that's we're very similar. I was always telling my wife, you have something to
You
say.
got it.
You got a song to sing. There are people you got to sing it to, right? And it was uncomfortable for my wife because she'd never been out front.
Mm-hmm.
I was always the out front person. She was the person back there supporting me. So she's finding her way. But I'm like, you're in the game. You got a book. You got your little deal. You're in the book. People are asking you to coach. And she's like, I don't know what I'm doing.
I got goosebumps.
Yeah,
I think it's amazing.
Yeah,
Like,
it really is.
It's fun. There was so I was watching some of your stuff last night actually, and I came across this and I'm like, oh, that's his wife. Oh, she has her own podcast. So if I can find it, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
there's gonna be other people that are gonna be finding
Absolutely.
it. It's gonna be like there's just this medium is so fun.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know it was gonna be this much fun when I started. And I mean, it literally took me a year to start my podcast because of all my own fears and my own stuff and I'll blah blah blah. And then I just went. And I was really bad in the beginning. So I tell everybody, I'm like, you're going to suck in the beginning, whatever it is you do.
Yeah.
The greatest athlete of all time was terrible in the beginning.
Yeah.
But it's that willingness to keep going and executing the same way you have your whole career. Like you've had good 10, 12-year blocks in 2 careers that all feed business.
Yes.
So many people think like, oh, I'm not an entrepreneur, I'm not a this. That's just a limiting belief that's just not true.
Yeah.
All this stuff that I've been literally doing since I was 12 years old working, I still use today. That's just more tools from my toolbox.
Yes.
And I would love to get tactical for my listeners because we have somebody who's an actual tactician here. Because you don't just talk about it. Like you are an actual coach. You're not here to sell some seminar because you went to a seminar and you just changed the logo and now you're going to be an online clown.
Yeah.
Like you're the real deal.
Yeah.
That's why you're sitting here.
That's
and
right.
we vet people like crazy.
Sure.
So, and they all try to get in. I'm like, nope, but I don't think so. I can tell you're a poser. So we have a lot of real estate professionals on here, a lot of teams, a lot of investors, a lot of developers, and a lot of mortgage people, which will be speaking, and we talk a lot about social media and a lot about marketing. I want to kind of dive down because I think that the real estate industry is going to be shifting quite a bit. I think the huge boxes like the RE/MAX and Coldwell Bankers are going to be forced to shift because of what's going on right now.
Agreed.
And the value's not there for those 70-30s all day long like they used to be.
Yes.
And there's a disruption going on, which I love. I love disrupting markets. It's the best. So if some of my listeners are thinking about, here's a perfect example, I'm actually building out a Long Beach team. And everybody's like, why are you doing that? You do all this other stuff over here. You built this big empire. Why? Because I like to.
Right.
I like to serve. I actually like working with people and helping them with the biggest purchase of their life. It's fun.
Right.
And I love coaching and mentoring, and agents are the same. So if you were me and you had my name and my brand and all the stuff that I do and had this passion for like traditional real estate and investment real estate, how would you set that team up and why?
I think, so when I think about teams, one of the best books out there was The 5 Dysfunctions of Teams, because every team in America is dysfunctional. We're inherently,
just like every family.
Yeah, we're inherently selfish people. So when you're building team, when you study like culture, there's 3 components of a great culture: trust, belonging, and purpose.
Yes.
Well, trust, a lot of people think of trust as the best predictor of future behavior is past relevant behavior. Cannot trust you. But I want to look at it a different way. To attract people to your team, they have to believe Andy's the #1 guy in the world to get me to a higher frequency. And he's got a system. And when you come work with me, I'm going to give you this system. And I'm going to hold you accountable to this system, right? Like I trust that. And I think this medium is one of the #1 ways in the world for people to build an affinity with you. To say, I want to work on that dude's team.
That's right.
But it's very important when you understand coaching, there's a cycle. People start with good intention, they fail to follow through, and then they experience guilt. A good coach breaks that cycle.
Yes.
So when I'm coaching a team, I say if we're going to hold people accountable, we have to hold them accountable to something. What are we holding them accountable to? We're holding them accountable to a system. So we look at it in 5 stages. Stage 1 is how do we get our core identity, core values? How do we share our beliefs, because we believe people do business with other people that believe the same things they do.
It's a people sport.
So we teach real estate agents how to share their story better. We believe this. I believe there's a difference between a house and a home.
Yeah, I'm so glad you said that.
Yeah, a house is made up of sticks and bricks, and a home is made up of memories. So I have all these beliefs. We teach you how to cultivate these core beliefs. Then we teach you how to generate leads through a selling system. And that does include social today, but I still teach relationship selling. Hit list every day, farm club every day, top 25, showcase events.
That's going to always work until the end of time.
Exactly, because money follows activity.
That's right.
So we try to get every agent that we coach to commit to at least 2 hours a day of nothing but new money.
Yeah. Is it from 9 to 11?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And here's the concept. You've been watching.
I'm paying attention.
Because no matter where I am in the country, right? I raise my hand. I say, how many understand the purpose of the business is to generate new money, create new customers? Everybody does.
It's my biggest pet peeve that people don't reach back ever. And you said it last night when I was listening to one of your shows or something. I was like, I blast it from the mountaintop. If you just looked backwards at your old business, you would have so much future business you wouldn't know what to do with yourself.
Yes.
Everybody's chasing the future.
It's so when you think about the selling system, you're right. Some of that new money can come from old money. The stats tell us that every real estate transaction should be worth 5.7 referrals.
It keeps growing.
Over the lifetime of the consumer.
I agree.
The average person is going to buy 4 to 6 houses.
Yeah.
But 98% of agents or mortgage originators or title companies never call a customer back once they do the transaction.
I know, it breaks my heart. It doesn't make any sense to me from a logical standpoint as a business owner. Like, the customer service part is so big.
It has to do with our brains loving going and getting something new and getting bored with something old.
All the way back when we were literally in caves and had to go hunt and eat. I get it.
Yeah.
I love to go hunt.
But optimization, like getting those 5.7 referrals, doing all 4 deals, is very critical. So we teach story, selling system, follow up, and I wrote a book called $1 Million Follow Up, which is very popular in real estate because most agents go 2 touches. Every stat in the world says 7 to 15 touches 80% of the time, and I teach linear and non-linear touches, how to bring a person to a decision. Then we move to how to extract referrals, and then we finish with person of interest, how you become a person of interest, which is really what you've done. You've become the buyer versus the seller.
Right.
Because you created a brand and a podcast and a book, which is something everybody should be doing.
Agreed.
Like every person should aspire to become a person of interest. Then you're the buyer versus the seller, like people trying to get on your podcast. You're doing the buying here, not the selling.
That's right.
And so I think when you become a buyer versus a seller, this is what I was teaching over in Huntington Beach this morning. When you become the buyer versus the seller, you're in demand.
That's right.
People want a piece of you because you have this primary hard skill set that solves a big problem in the world.
Right.
So that's the technical parts of what we coach every person in. I call them a demonstrated capacity. And the parable of the talents in the book of Matthew talks about when you use talents, you get more talents. And so I saw an interpretation once that said demonstrated capacity, like they showed a demonstrated capacity to use the talents. Therefore, they were given more talents and more opportunity.
That's right.
So I tell a person after 1 year with me, you should have those 5 demonstrated capacities, which should help you get at least a 43% increase in your business.
For sure.
In 1 year, if you do what I'm teaching. Now, some people get 100%, 200%. Some people get 30%. Some people get 0% because they don't do it.
Depends on the person.
So a good coach, in your situation when you're attracting people in, you're the coach, right? You have a proven system. Question is, how do you get those people to buy in? I don't believe in formal leadership. I believe a formal authority. I believe the only lasting form of authority is moral authority.
That's right.
Which means I buy into you. If I asked my team today to say, look, after this, Andy and I are going up on top of this building and we're going to make calls for 2 hours. My team members would say, okay, how do we get up there?
That's right.
Because they buy into me.
That's right.
If they don't buy into the messenger, they won't buy into the message. Okay? So because there's deep scripting from Covey and me, the whole person theory, you build the man first and then you build the organization.
That's right. Oh, I firmly believe it.
That's the part that's missing in all the pretenders that are out there. They really have it. They don't have a demonstrated capacity. There was one guy that we were looking at a podcast out here in LA, and a lot of my big time friends called him and said, you should have Coach Bert on. He's legitimate. He's like, I don't know, And I was looking up what he did. I'm like, man, what has this dude ever done?
What does he really do?
He's never done anything except interview successful people.
That's right.
Like you've done what you're talking about.
I know who you're talking about.
Yes.
Just by the way you framed it, because he's reached out to me. I don't know how many times I told him no.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
I get it.
I'm just like, come on, man. I mean, if somebody big time calls and vouches for you and says, look, you should have this dude on because he's legit. You don't know him, but you need to know him.
3 people.
Yeah.
Said you should have Coach Bird. I'm like, I'm trying to find a hole in my schedule. It's already done.
Good.
I got your back.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Yeah.
Because, and for me, it's really simple. So first, my team vets you,
Mm-hmm.
and then they give me the thumbs up for me to take my personal time
Mhm.
to figure out if it's going to be a fit.
Absolutely.
And if it's a fit, it's a fit.
Absolutely.
And a couple have snuck by in the beginning, but
Yeah.
we're pretty rigorous now because I really deeply care about the audience that we
Yeah.
have and the message. And everything that you're doing massively lines up with
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say. So many people get stuck in this like, oh, well, he mentors and so do you. And get out of here.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if we lived in the same town and we had the same contracts, there's still no competition.
Absolutely.
Because someone's going to do business with me because of me and you because of you.
Yes.
And I pound this into my real estate agents. I'm like, you're so stuck comparing yourself to like Bill Johnson, and I got news for you, never going to be Bill Johnson.
Yes.
You own your story.
Yeah.
That'll get you business. And it makes you relatable, keeps you vulnerable. Like, it's all those things that are super, super important. Love your message, man. And before I forget, because I'm sure we're going to hit it way down the road here on this podcast, but you sell this system, I'm assuming, or you just teach it or coach it or mentor it. Where can they find it? So if they are listening right now, they can maybe hit pause on this
Sure.
and go to iTunes and leave a rating and leave us a review,
Yeah.
and then go buy Coach Bird stuff.
Yeah, basically what we're selling is the Monster Producer Coaching Program.
Okay.
And that is an online interactive academy that
Yep.
they can get, which is updated weekly. So it's fresh content. As soon as I create new content, it goes in there.
Nice.
My whole system is in there, which includes everything I said, those 5 key components. And then it's broken down into different pieces. We also have live coaching programs called Monster Producer that people all over the world participate in. I teach 7 times per month. People come physically. I have a training facility called the Greatness Factory.
Love it.
And then we simulcast that around the world. Those are 2 big ways that people can be coached by me. And in my program, they get me. So if you sign up to be a Monster Producer, I'm the one doing the teaching, I'm doing the coaching. I do a Monday live call every Monday for every member to jump on with me so they can get that weekly connection to me. But that's the number one way, is go to CoachBird.com and you can see all of that.
I love it. I love it. And it's so important to not automate that part.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, that's such a big part of you and who you are and the value you bring is for them to be able to hop on Monday. If they have a question they've been waiting to ask, they get to you. Not your coach of a coach of a coach.
Right.
They get straight to Coach Bird.
And that is a true differentiator between me and lots of people I compete against, specifically in the real estate space. My buddy's Dr. Kevin Elko. Elko's a 27-time national championship mental coach. It's Nick Saban's team psychologist at Alabama, Philadelphia Eagles. And so he does all this research on what makes people winners, right? Like, and then he synthesizes it, breaks it down, gives it to Saban and says, this is how you need to communicate. The number one thing all of his research says is every winning team comes back to one word: connection. How do you stay connected to your people, right? And when you lose connection, the teams in the NBA that touch the most, high five the most, fist bump the most, look in the eye, win the most.
They have that energy.
There's a connection.
It's the same with parenting. It's the same
Yes.
with marriage, relationships, business partners. When that's broke down and the communication stops, that's where all the dysfunction happens.
Absolutely. And I think it's hard. It goes back to that crumbs concept. When you lose connection, then you lose everything you built. It's like there's not equity. It's like what takes years to build up can take seconds to tear down.
100%.
So people that see me speak and they like me, and I've said, I'm going to be your coach, you sign up for my program, you're going to get me. Now that doesn't mean you give me one-to-one.
That's right.
But
that's a different program.
But yeah, that's right. And we have programs where you get more time with me. I'm big on retreats where I can spend 3 days with people.
Because you get to deep dive with them.
Yeah, so I like coming to a place like Huntington Beach, renting out a big place, having 25 people live together for 3 days, and us coach in the morning, socialize in the afternoon. I'm really big on those things. Like Tim Story, and I've done that, Tim Grover, me and Elko. I like to do these retreats with big time people.
It's so smart, and especially it's like a little vacation to come out here and help your business and help your relationships. I love Tim Story. He's just a nice guy. He was one of the first people that I met in this space. I was at an event in Los Angeles, had no clue who he was. I'm sitting in line getting coffee. I was there by myself. I'm like, what is this weird? Because Here's a funny story. I didn't have a website 3 years ago. My whole world was like 12 investors and just me. You couldn't find me online. I didn't exist. I was just this hustler that was crushing. And I started to kind of feel like I was going to get left behind. And so I went all in. I'm going to seminars and events all over the world. But there was this one in LA, and there's this gentleman here in the coffee, and I just start chatting with him. Such a nice guy, this and that, we're talking, blah, blah, blah. And then I go sit, and then who takes the stage and just crushes it? And I'm like, what a great dude. I talked to him afterwards, love him. Just because that's him. He's 100% him all the time. Like there's no...
I know.
That's the part I respect.
I do too. And we did a retreat with him in Vero Beach, Florida. And what I was real impressed with was every person on that retreat. He would go to them. I would watch him. He would go to them and say, step outside and give me 2 minutes on your life. Every person he spent personal time.
Those touches.
The first night I met him when I spoke at 10X, we had a big dinner. And it was, all of us, me and Mylette, Cardone, and Tim Story, and I really didn't know a lot of these people. Like I knew Cardone, but I did not know Mylette yet. I didn't know Tim Story. I did not know some of the speakers. And we had a dinner, and I watched Story sit with every person. Like, and he didn't have to do that. Like especially on the retreat. Like we paid him to deliver. He came in and delivered, but he spent a lot of time with each individual person, and
he really cares.
And he won those people over. Those people like, man, I like that dude.
He won me over in like 10 minutes.
So that's who he is. Like to me, I just told him I wanted to come to church tomorrow. He said, no, let's get you up on stage and let me interview in front of the congregation. I'm like, you don't have to do that. I've just come to church. Like it's okay.
He knows he doesn't have to.
But that's who he is. So I'm a big Tim Story guy.
No, I love it. And it's truly who he is. It's also an incredible business tactic. Like, you know what I mean? So that helps.
Let me tell you something. There is really good. There is no telling. Like he picked up, I don't know how much business at our retreat. I know 5 people signed up for his coaching program at $5,000. Like 10 people signed up. That's 50 more thousand. And then he signed like 2 more speaking engagements at his speaking fee. So he probably made a couple $100,000 more bucks as a result of those 2 days in Vero Beach. So he gets
just being himself.
Just being himself, and it's genuine. But he's good, man. He's really, really good.
Yeah, no, and it's smart to be around people that are good. My circle's real small. Like I'm just such a family guy. I'm on at 3 o'clock every day because they've got little kids.
Yes.
Because like you were saying with the crumbs,
right?
I will gladly give away $20, $30, $40 million in these first 16 years of my kid's life to only have $300 million at the end instead of 260.
Right.
I don't care.
Yeah.
But this stuff I can't get back.
Yeah.
And so, like I was raised by a single mom. We were raised dirt poor. We had nothing.
Yeah.
And so I always knew I was going to be this incredible dad because I was going to make it a big priority. Like way before I ever had kids.
Yeah.
And I've stuck to it. And it's not that hard. Like it just isn't. Like we love to overcomplicate this stuff, especially as men.
Sure.
It is so much easier to go to work and work 18 hours than it is to be at home all day.
I agree.
And no one's ever going to tell me different.
And that's one thing Jonathan Hawkins told me about you, how well you stuck to your I go home at this time, I spend time, and I really admire that because I think when you're hardwired to go out there and produce, like you feel like you're missing something. Like if I had a real problem last year saying yes to a lot of things, right? And even on days that said protected, like do not book Coach Bird on this day, it's in red. And then we booked 8 things on that day. And my wife just had a fit. She's like, what's the like? A, you need some rest. B, we need to see you. Like. So what we're doing now is we're really trying to purposely design 2020. And these are the only things I'm going to do. These days means no booking. And and when it's no booking, no booking. Because what I'd say is, well, look, you can book it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we got a couple hours.
You can do it.
Squeeze it in.
You can make it work. And then one thing would be 8 things. Right? And then I'd say, like, man, I'm tired. I don't have time. I hadn't time to rejuvenate like I need to. Like I've been on the road for X number of days. I'm not getting enough sleep. I can't work out like I want to. So we're trying to be much more intentional.
That's so smart.
In 2020.
Because those are choices. Like you're choosing that.
Absolutely.
You're choosing that pain. You're choosing to lose the sleep. You're choosing to have this thing that we were talking about at the beginning where all your levels go up and down.
Right.
But it's hard when you're hardwired. Believe me, this whole thing that I do at a home at 3 o'clock, that did not start day one. Like, that was a learned behavior because I saw what was happening. I'm like, I'm fighting with my wife more. Like there was problems, and I'm like, so now my phone was in the drawer for a couple hours. Like I've worked through this, so now I'm like, well, if this will work for me, it might work for a couple other people. So I'm just going to share my message. But it's important for me, especially like my 6-year-old that's out there. He gets to see me in real time, lead by example. I'm going to tell him all kinds of stuff in his life. He's probably going to listen to a little bit of it.
Yes.
But he will have those things like you got from your grandpa in your head by the example that he led.
Right.
It's not just the words, it's obviously these crazy actions that go on top of it. That's why you've been such a successful coach, is it's the same with your clients.
Right.
And then we lay it out, and like you said, to be intentional with it.
Yes.
I don't know what it is, but something happens. It's almost like God is like, okay, cool, now you're getting it.
Right.
We're going to give you a little more.
Yeah.
And I am twice as successful and working less.
Right.
And in my brain, that was never going to be possible.
Yeah. Well, I was coached by Dan Sullivan in Strategic Coach when I first.
They call me every day.
Okay.
Their phone program is off the charts. Those people, these sweet ladies are just, they hammer. You were on the website today. I'm like, I wasn't. I was on the website 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But God bless you.
Well, when I left being a high school basketball coach and became a business owner, I needed entrepreneurial structure, right? So all of my friends in my market that were successful and wealthy, they were middle-aged guys, kept saying, you need to go to Strategic Coach. And so I went to Strategic Coach, and what they taught was a time system.
Yes.
And the time system is there's 3 types of days, right? You basically rest, you practice, and you perform. You're off, and off to Sullivan was 24 hours of complete disengagement from your business.
Yes.
So I, of course, me, this little 30-something entrepreneur, I was like, okay, I got a question. I love reading books. If it's a day off and I read a book, is it considered off? And here's the first question. Does it make you think about your business?
I was just going to say the same thing.
And I was like, yes.
Is it a business-oriented book?
It's a work day.
That's right.
All right. What if I have my buddies over and we barbecue and sit out by the pool? Do you talk business? If you talk business, then it's a work day. So his point was you need rejuvenation. So he always taught us there's 3 states. You're rejuvenated, you're mechanical, or you're burnout. Burnout being loss of all joy or passion for something, right? And the only way to live in a rejuvenated state is to regularly take times of rejuvenation. The word restoration has the word rest in it.
That's right.
So, and the Bible teaches us to take a day off. Like I take a full day off every week. And that day for me is Saturday because when I go to church on Sunday, I get super creative.
Well, yeah.
And so on Sunday, I create. The Saturday typically is my complete day off. And so, I appreciate you coming up here and doing this on Saturday. For those people that are watching, you didn't have to do that. Because I know it's,
and no one's ever been in the studio on Saturday. So and I've never done this.
Like that means a lot to me.
Of course, absolutely.
But Sullivan was right. Here's what he used to say: the people who are the highest money earners in our society are athletes, entertainers. They cannot perform. Like when you go see a great entertainer, and they perform for 2 hours or 3 hours or 4 hours. Look at how much energy they're exerting. And how good they are. They could not do that 365 days a year.
Impossible.
So what they do is they rest, they practice, right? They write songs, they perform, and then they perform. And when they perform at the highest level possible. So I'm trying to teach my team when I'm performing, every time I'm in front of people, the better I am, the more income we're going to generate.
Of course.
Whether I'm speaking on a big stage, small stage, or I'm on a podcast. This is a stage. If I come in here today tired and frustrated and irritated, I'm not going to be good for you or your audience, right? There's going to be no more opportunity for us.
Very true.
So my team, I'm trying to teach my team, help me protect my energy by understanding the system. I need to rest, I want to practice, and then I need to perform. That is a great system, but I fought that system, Andy. I can't tell you. When he taught that to us, I was like, he's crazy. There is no way in the world I'm not reading a business book on my day off, or I'm not doing something. Like I still struggle with that, but I try to practice that. Practice days for me are I'm in the office, but I'm wearing something comfortable. I'm thinking or creating. Like I love days in the office where there's no schedule. I have no coaching appointments. I can do whatever I want to. If I want to make sales calls, I can. If I want to create something, I can. But I love that. To me, that's like a day off.
I agree.
So I'm trying to operate on that philosophy.
It works. And I love the Strategic Coach. They've got a great model. It works. And I've known some incredible entrepreneurs that have changed their whole world because of that program. it just works for who we are as humans. Like, it makes sense for us to rest. It's really, really important. And like you, I fought it forever because I felt like I was going to be missing something or leaving something on the table. And then I just started to slowly start to figure out, like, well, who do I want to be at 50?
Yeah.
Who do I really want to be at 60?
Yeah.
If I'm going this hard at 50, I'm gonna be a lot less valuable to
Yes.
everybody around me.
Yeah, it's interesting you said that. One place I disagreed with Strategic Coach was that I'm not looking for ways to get out of work.
Right, me either.
Okay, and I woke up, at one time I was in a class and I looked around and it was mostly, there was very little diversity. There was 38 men and 3 women. And I felt like every person in there was trying to figure out strategies to get out of work. Okay, now, meaning create a business, a self-sustaining business that they don't have to do anything with. You follow me?
There's an entire generation doing it.
Now, the challenge for me is I see work as a distribution channel for my God-given talents.
Get it? I agree.
I am most alive when I'm creating, when I'm creating something or moving towards something. I don't want to be stagnant. I don't want to play golf 5 days a week. I don't want to do those things. So I looked up and I said, this program's not for me right now because I'm at a different stage in my life cycle. Now, at 50, I may feel different.
Agreed.
But what Dr. Hotze told me when you said that about 50 is he said, if you keep going at the pace you're going and you don't get your body and your levels right, you will literally walk in one day and be done.
Because we all go through overwhelm. I don't care
Yes.
who you are.
Yes.
We all fall into depression. We all fall into crazy forms of some kind of anxiety. That's real. Everybody.
Yeah.
And for me, sometimes it's really bad. I'm like, my life is incredible. I never have to work again. Why am I depressed?
Right.
And I have to literally go back and dissect,
Yeah.
where am I in overwhelm?
That's right.
Oh, I'm in overwhelm of boredom.
Right.
Or
That's
I'm in
right.
overwhelm of something.
Yeah.
It all goes back to that.
Yeah. And you think about what brings you to life, like what charges your batteries. You know, they taught us this concept of unique ability, of really structuring the business around your unique ability, which is some superior ability, typically recognized very early in life,
Yes. For sure.
compounded by energy when you're doing it, and the world rewards you.
Agreed.
And it doesn't just reward you in money. That's a big mistake a lot of people think.
That's just part of
Like
it.
I coached for 10 years, I made anywhere between 24,000 and 50 or 60,000, and I loved every second.
You were full. You were
I
happy.
loved every second of it. And the way I got paid was in my players' production levels and how good they turned out. Like
That feels the
like
best.
affirmation. You get paid in affirmation. You get paid in love. You get paid in referrals. You get paid in reputation. Then you get paid by money. Money is only a byproduct of real value creation.
Doing the right thing. We have a very simple thing on my website. It's a picture of me, and it says, adding value first is the most important.
Yes.
Real simple.
Yes.
But if you're not doing that, and so many people would love to just automate their whole world.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, 30 to 60 days of making money and not doing anything for most people is catastrophic.
Yes.
They don't know it yet,
Right.
but I've seen it happen with a lot of people. I'm like, what are you going to do? Go buy another Rolls?
Yeah.
You're going to have another Lamborghini to drive around that you're going to hate because the whole inside of you is growing, and you're trying to find a passion that doesn't exist anymore? That's a problem.
Yeah, and I think when you're thinking about this concept of passion, irresistible belief or motive or action, that's the definition of passion, right? It's an irresistible belief or motive to move or take action.
I tell my wife all the time,
And-
like, you don't understand.
And I mean, I know we're all looking for ways to make money easier. I'm no
of course,
different.
of course.
How do we do? Bradley thinks I should be doing $250,000 a month in my online academy, and he's right.
I know.
He's right. Okay, but that doesn't mean I still don't want to speak. Because I love the speaking. Doesn't mean I don't want to do some coaching because I love the coaching. Doesn't mean I don't want to do retreats because I love the retreats. I think I use a word called intentional congruence. It's where all parts of your life feed all parts of your life. So I buy real estate. I take the money from my coaching business, the excess cash, and I buy unique properties around the country.
Love
Okay, that are unique. Like our house in Florida has 9 bedrooms, like a little hotel.
Love it.
And we can rent that house for $14,000 a week. Then we can use that house for retreats where we make more money. We pay the house first.
Or put the whole family there for a
That's
vacation.
right.
I love
That's
it.
right. And then we bought this beautiful lodge in Tennessee that sits on 23 acres. And it's 20 minutes from my house.
Perfect.
We can go there. I can coach. Sometimes we go there on the weekend and we pretend we're in the mountains.
Of course.
But that's what I've done as far as real estate goes, is taking that and buying unique destination properties, using those properties to generate more money. And my thought is when we get people there, and they get around other people and they exchange energy and ideas, they're going to buy more things.
It's infectious.
They're going to upgrade their coaching packages. They're going to say, put me on 6 retreats like it's never failed me. We can take a $15,000 day where I'm doing 50 people at $300 a person, and turn it into a $100,000 day. From getting people to that lodge in a cool environment and teaching them something.
Because you create that, and then you hold that space. You hold the energy for them to then learn.
Yes.
And as humans, this has been scientifically proven. I talk about it constantly. When we're learning something, when we're in the physical act of mastery, we're the happiest.
Yes.
Where people get in trouble, that's why this whole thing with like, oh, I got this money in the bank and now what? You're not learning anymore. You're not consciously chasing something that fires you up. That's a massive problem.
Yeah, I can't tell you. I was talking to a real estate agent the other day who's 71 years old, and he's been coming to my stuff. He's been coming to my coaching program.
Love it.
And I said, but he's coming like one-offs, right? Like
Sure.
one thing at a time. And I'm like, man, why don't you just
go on.
get in the coaching?
That's
Here's what he said. Coach, I'm 71. I'm like, are you dead?
Are you dead? Exactly.
Because if you're not dead, then surely you got one more good swing in you. You're coming, which tells me you're interested.
Look
which
at Colonel
tells me you're
Sanders.
trying to sell more houses. Yes.
He was broke at 71, a billionaire at 80.
Golly, that's good. But that's what I see, is I see a lot of static people that are successful. And I hear this, well, I'm earning $250,000 a year. Like, what more do I need? I actually had a guy in my coaching program say, is there really a difference between earning $250,000 a year and $650,000 or $1 million per year? And
Yes,
I was like,
massive difference.
I was like, a significant difference.
Yeah.
In everything.
$400,000.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't even believe you asked me that question. But in his mind, like I live in Tennessee, average sale price of a house in Tennessee is probably $229 to $269, right?
Yep.
Very blue collar, right? Like people freak out because I have a jet, and all that kind of stuff. And I got that so I could get places and see my daughter.
Smart.
And and he asked me that question. I'm like, man, I can't even believe you asked me that. Like in his mind, I'm at the top, man. 250, and I'm there.
Because he's probably made the most out of anybody in his family
Yes.
ever.
Yeah.
And now he's at his own little mountaintop.
Yes.
And he's looking at all these other peaks thinking it's too much work to get there, so I'm going to play it safe and stay here until somebody nukes that mountain. And now what? What happens when your company does this? What happens if you get sick? What happens if your wife gets sick? What happens if something happens and now if you would have gone a little harder when you could have, then now you can't go back and change it.
Right.
And that's the part that scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Is I don't know, it's just part of who I am. I want to go as hard as I can and still like have the life that I want to design, just in case.
Well, there comes a time when winter asks what you did all spring and summer.
Oh, it's so true.
And winter's coming. Listen, I started coaching people during the recession. Like, that's when I retired.
I got into real estate in a way.
There you go. So I didn't even know any better. Like, it was either really smart or really dumb.
Me too.
But let me tell you who I first started coaching in 08. Big home builders.
Yeah, because I'm trying not to jump off a building.
I knew nothing about the home building industry.
Yeah.
And one of the top builders in the state of Tennessee saw me speak at a luncheon, like a chamber luncheon, that I wasn't even getting paid for. And he came up to me and said, look, I don't know what you got, but we need some of it. Come see me tomorrow. And I went to see him. He's this famous guy in our town, made a bunch of money, was selling 1,000 houses a year. That was huge, independent, not a national builder. And so I go to his office the next day. He's like, look, I'm in a funk. I'm battling depression. I'm laying people off. I'm watching my company go down the drain. We were selling 40 houses a week. Now we're selling 4. And I don't know what to do, man. And he said, I don't know how you can help me, but you're going to be my coach.
He was smart enough to ask for help.
Yes. And it was so crazy. He's like, how much is it going to cost me? I had no pricing structure.
Just throw out a big number.
Here's what I said. It's going to be $125,000.
Yeah.
He looked at me and he said, let's round it to 120 and get started.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And so I literally coached him for a year and his team, and I learned the real estate game. I learned how to build subdivisions. How do you market the properties? How do you get the agents to drive leads? How do you, right? So we had success.
What a gift for you both.
Oh, it was great.
You know what I mean?
Because when we were able to do that and we got him profitable, like he had budgeted to lose $500,000 that year. That was a win. If I only lose $500,000.
I know, especially as a developer. I get it.
So he was profitable. Then word got out to other big home builders. So I started coaching the biggest home builder in North Carolina. Then what came next? Agents, mortgage companies, insurance, title. That's how I ended up in real estate.
I love it. I love it. It's a fun industry. Like, I didn't realize it was going to be as fun as it is. Plus, I'm a simple dude. I'm not the smartest person on earth. This math makes sense to me.
Yeah.
The taxes make sense to me.
Right.
I can put a little bit of money down, control a large piece of real estate that my tenants are going to pay for me. And then whatever left over becomes income for my family.
Yes.
Where do I sign up? And it just gets better.
Well, and I think, to your point, I think I've heard you say this. If you're going to be in real estate, you need to be investing in real estate. Like you you need to be practicing what you preach.
And that's literally what I'm getting paid to go speak all over the country
Yes.
to these agents. I'm like, look, you netted $450,000 last year, and you bought a couple watches and you pissed it all away.
Yes.
Like, I'm teaching them how to take that money and change their life and legacy and actually play a longer game.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they get to see the deals before they call an investor like me.
I know.
And like, this might be a great deal for you and your family. And I've helped people do it. Like, look, I'll take this down. This might be a great triplex for you to get your foot in the door.
Yes.
If you're renting right now, you can use FHA 3.5% financing, put down like $7,000 and buy this asset.
Right.
Live there for a year and 1 day, refi $100,000 out and go buy your 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, and now Andy just changed your life.
Yeah.
Like, I live for that stuff.
Well, I think, you said a lot of key things there. I think where a good coach comes in is to buy real estate, you got to get your revenue up first, right?
Yes.
Like you got to sell something.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have a selling system. You got to learn to follow up. You got to learn to overcome objection. You got to learn to extract referrals. You got to learn to be a person of interest. And then you're going to wake up with some excess cash.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to wake up one day and say, man, I got $100,000 in the bank, or $500,000 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Now what do I do with it? Now I need to invest it in something that's going to produce more money.
It's the only reason to save is to make a play.
Yeah, absolutely.
You save money to make an investment.
Yeah, big time people use the cash flow they're bringing in to create more money. They use money to make more money. They don't sit on money or save the money. So I think the play there, what you're teaching people is here's how you go do it, and then here's how you go do it to build wealth. Like I'm working on a book right now called Single Digit Millionaire, and how to get to double digits, right? And it's first, as I'm writing that book, it's really a transition book about how I went from a high school basketball coach earning what I earned to a millionaire, right? How did I do it? Because that's what Cardone wanted me to speak on at 10X. And that was really this book, Inside the Mind of a Monster. He's like, here's what I want you to talk about. How did you go from here to here? Because it's crazy, because most high school teachers don't go from there to here.
No.
And so how did you do it? So it forced me to go back. Like, what did I do from 18 to 25?
Isn't that fun to go back and start writing your story again?
And codifying it.
Yes.
And so it forced me to go back and go, okay, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. And then I remember asking my financial advisor one day, like, when can I tell people that I'm a millionaire? Because it will be powerful for them to know I've done it.
It's powerful for you.
And he was like, well, you've been one for the last couple of years. And I'm like, I didn't even know it. Like, I was like totally naive to it. I was like, I have? And he's like, yeah, your net worth is this. But my point is, when I'm writing this book, Single Digit Millionaire, it's about, first, only 4% of small businesses ever break $1 million of revenue. Right? Like it's going to be hard for you to be a millionaire if your business is not even producing $1 million.
Well, the stats are ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're stacked way against you.
Then you're going to have to learn how to sell and then reinvest something, right? And then you're going to have to get your net worth to 1 to 10 million, which is an indicator that you have done something. Then I'm going to call in all my rich buddies, and I'm going to say, now, how did you go to double digits?
That's right.
Because all I can teach you right now is how to get to single digits. But first step is what? Get to single digits before you get to double digits.
And then get around some people that are doubles, and then get around some triples. And then you have a huge network of people that, especially in the real estate game, is, okay, here's this deal I'm doing for $6 million.
Yes.
I need to go call my double-digit buddies.
That's exactly right.
See if they want to partner with me. This is not rocket science.
I know. Bradley's always joking with me. He's like, you're just a little single-digit millionaire. And I'm like, yeah. But I'm proud because 10 years ago I was a high school basketball coach.
That's right.
Making $50,000 a year.
And you're going up the escalator, my friend.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it. I got Brad so fired up on real estate when I was on his podcast, and he was asking me these questions, and he was going back and forth with Grant stuff, and he was trying to basically not slam like his fund, but he was trying to poke holes in it.
Yeah.
And I just told him, I go, look, I keep it real simple. Here's what I do. And he just kept going and going and going. He goes, man, I just want to give you like $5 million.
Yes.
And I'm like, well, awesome contracts.
Here we go.
Because I truly want to help.
Yes.
Like, it's really important to me.
Right.
Because I know that if I can do it, I can teach anybody how to do it.
Right, absolutely. And people, let's go back to that saying, there comes a time when winter asks what you did all spring and summer.
That's right.
And it's coming whether
Whether
you're ready for it or not. Like I tell Mel, my personal assistant, we were talking about her because she's, I don't know how, 20-something years old, 28 years old. And I'm like, Mel, you need to start investing right now in something.
Mm-hmm.
Like even if it's $50 a month, $100 a month, because there comes a time. Like I wasn't thinking like that from 20 to 30.
Of course.
Nobody set me down and said, look,
Me either.
like that's a big regret I have. I didn't have any business coaching.
Me either.
I had coaches coaching me how to be a better basketball coach, how to win more championships. But I didn't have a guy like me saying, you need to be doing this.
With your money.
With your money.
That's
You
right.
need to understand how to get your money up. You need to understand how to reinvest it. You need to start now. Like I didn't have that person. So I want my people to have that person, right? Because there comes a time when winter asks what you did all spring and summer. You could all go away tomorrow. Like all of the success
It
we're
really
having,
could go away tomorrow.
and that freaks me out. Like I wake up in the morning going, man, I like living where I live. I like the lifestyle I have. I like the fact that my wife and my daughter provided for. Like I don't want this to go away. So that fear fuels me.
It keeps you going.
It fuels me. I still have it,
Of course.
but I use it. And when my prey drive is activated when my back's against the wall.
Yeah.
Like if we're not
I'm
hitting our
fighting
sales
too,
number,
yeah.
I'm like, man, I'm getting in here. We're going to hit this number.
I'm the same way. And the beauty of that is it could all go
Absolutely.
like to zero tomorrow.
Yeah.
And you have the knowledge to get it all back.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it. Is no
That's
one
right.
can take what's in my head from me. I don't want it to go away, but if it does, I'm not going to be crippled and be sitting there with a bottle of booze for 9 years straight talking about I had millions and it all. No. Okay. Game on. Now we're going here.
Well, the smart thing you're doing, and I had this long 2-hour conversation with Grant Cardone a few weeks ago in Miami. I was down there speaking at a thing, and he said, come over to the office and see me. And I went over there, and he just, I can't tell if I'm motivated or depressed after I've been with him for a couple of hours. Because he kept saying it all goes to zero, man. The coaching business, it all goes to zero. And I couldn't really understand what he was saying. I'm like, what's he talking about? What he was saying was, in the coaching business, people that love you today may not love you tomorrow. No matter how much you help them. You may help a person make $5 million, and they're on to somebody else.
That's right.
That's what he was saying, is this business goes to zero. The real estate business does not go to zero. Okay, so the smart thing to do, if you love, what he was saying to me is, if you love coaching, that's fine. Take the money from your coaching.
That creates income.
And put it over here, right? Because this doesn't go to zero. And I experienced that because I have people say, man, coaching changed my life, but next week they're on to Tony Robbins.
That's right.
Or whoever.
That's right.
And I'm like, well, I thought I changed your life. I thought there was loyalty between you and I. Like, I thought you would be here for...
Because that's what you did.
Yeah.
You got on the Covey train
And
and
stayed
stayed
on
there
it.
for 10
Yes.
years. But that's definitely not how it is now, especially with the internet now. Like, there's just so many people like, what did this person do? And I'm going to do drop shipping and e-commerce too. Like, you're a real estate broker.
Yes.
Stay in your lane.
Yeah. And I think that long obedience, and so you're right, I stuck with one dude, and that dude changed my life. And I'll always...
So you're loyal.
Yeah, exactly. I'll always be indebted to that person. And like I see today is this, we start with good intention, we fall off the wagon, we experience guilt. And the way I'm built is long obedience in the same direction. Like the way you master something. I was telling you about my $150 million mortgage producer. I've been her coach for 6 years. Every major person that's earning the most income, I have been their coach for 6 or more years. Like they don't quit. They keep going. Why would they? They keep making money.
It's working.
And I'm sitting there saying, well, this person, look at all my top money earners. I have been their coach for long periods of time. They have a mastery of my content. They could teach my content.
Because they're bought in.
And you are over here starting and quitting, and you don't show up, and you're not on the accountability, and you're trying to figure out why she's doing 150 million and you're doing 5 million. Look at the difference between these two people. Long obedience in the same direction.
It's night and day. Like, this game of life is not that hard.
We complicate.
Man, do we complicate it. So when it fails or doesn't work, we have an out and an excuse.
That's right. Yeah.
The simpler it is, like, here's when I work, here's when I go home, family time, and repeat. I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, whether it's Saturday, Sunday,
Yes.
Monday, doesn't matter. Like, I do the same thing every single day.
Yeah, success can be boring. And what I mean by that is you get up and kick everybody's butt and you go to bed and you do it all over again tomorrow. But success comes through repetition. Consistent, ongoing, systematic. If you talk to Brad Lee, he talks about content, repetition, role play, and testing. Those are the 4 things you got to have to grow somebody, right?
Sure.
Grow your team. So I believe this repetition, people want something new all the time, and I'm like, no. The way you become great at something is you stay focused on this one thing. Like I hear people say, well, I heard you talk about that last month. I'm like, it all builds on each other. Like this whole system, when you get good at this system, your numbers are going to go up significantly. But you haven't even mastered step 1 or step 2. Like you don't understand the system. And you're not implementing the system. You're not executing the system. Therefore, your numbers are not going to go up.
And it's important to stay new. Like, I still think I'm this, like, 12, 13, 16-year-old kid who's just hungry and wants to just prove to the world I'm going to do something. I stay in that. That's why I love Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Like, I have this thing in my head where I'm always going to be a white belt.
Right.
I'm always going to be learning something new. And just being humble in that space, it allows me to learn more.
Sure.
And it's so much fun. I'm never going to get there. Ever, ever, ever.
Yeah.
It's that pursuit that's so much fun for me. Because I've had some times before where I was very successful, had lots of money, and I would self-sabotage because I didn't know what to do with myself.
Yeah.
And I would burn either it all down or some of it just to rebuild it again. And I'm like, and then I found out a lot of people do that.
Yes.
So for me, it's that staying new and really being okay with that.
Yeah.
And if there was something that you could leave this audience with, you know, that you really want to hit home, maybe something from the book that you just really, if there's one chapter that you can teach, and you can only teach one, what chapter would it be?
I think it would be the framework and mindset of a monster producer. So many people ask me, like, where does this come from in you? How do you attack a day? How do you map out and play offense all the time?
Right.
How do you attack this? So I go into the habits and mindsets of a big time person in there. How do they plan? How do they work a system? How do they follow up? How do they extract referrals? To me, the book is a mindset book, because you're going to read that book, Inside the Mind of a Monster, and go, man, I'm weak in this area. Then I go through the whole system. And I tell people, this is exactly what I'm coaching people on. Because people say, well, can I travel with you for a day? Or will you talk to me about how you map out your days or that? And I'm like, this is how I do it. This is, you go inside the mind of a monster and extract, right? And I think that would be the best chapter, is just right in the beginning, like, this is who I am. This is how you can play at a higher level. This is the frequency you want to get to.
I love it. I love it, Coach Burt. Go out and get his book and find that chapter, dominate that chapter. Go to his website. If you own a company and you have people come out and speak, you definitely want this man on your stage. Thank you so much. I could sit and talk to you all day.
I know, man. This has been awesome.
This has been so much fun to get to know you. Where can everybody find you? Where are all of your social media handles, your websites, everything?
Yeah, I think, great place is YouTube. I do put out a lot of content. It's a great place to build an affinity with me, see if you like my coaching style. And just search Coach Michael Burt. My mother did spell it different, M-I-C-H-E-A-L, which wasn't a problem until you had to buy websites.
That's right.
Then I got to buy it both ways, A-E-E-A.
That's right.
But on Instagram, at Michael Burt, and that's M-I-C-H-E-A-L. But pretty much if you search Coach Michael Burt, you will find me. And then we would love to help you. I do believe everybody needs a good coach in life.
I agree.
I believe a good coach can change your life. And there's a lot of people out there that call themselves coaches, but they have not had a demonstrated capacity of winning championships or building businesses. You really need to know what kind of success they've had before you turn your potential over to them. And that's a big trend I'm seeing.
Oh, important.
Yes.
Do not hire somebody who has not done for a long time what you're trying to hire them for. I don't know why this is not so. It's so simple. I have tons and tons of mentors. Most of them are in their 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for our phone calls. I have always had mentors, always had coaches, will always have coaches, will always have mentors. I'm very coachable because I want it faster.
Yeah.
I want it better. And I don't want to go through, 20 years of nightmares like maybe they have to.
Well, let me say one thing here as we end, because you trigger so many things, man, the way you're talking. I was watching an interview with Robert Greene, who wrote Mastery, 48 Laws of Power, Laws of Human Nature. He's just a freak of nature, right? Like the way he researches that stuff. And they asked him, if there was one way to speed up mastery, what is it? And at first he said, well, if you ask that question, you're not interested in mastery. But if there's one thing I would give you credit for, one way to speed up mastery of anything is by who is coaching you.
Agreed.
If you study at the feet of a master, it could speed up your, right? Most people don't think like that. If you're out there in the world, like I was with Albert Preciado yesterday, who's got the driven concept, and he's the mortgage guys. And what I was most impressed with when I was doing his podcast was he wanted to know something from Ty Lopez, and he called Ty Lopez and said, how much would it cost for me to learn how to do this. $50,000. Okay, here's your $50,000.
Now teach me.
He wanted to know something from Patrick Bet David about how to build this big team of 10,000 people, and he called him and said how much to coach you. He wanted to know how to buy apartment complexes. He went to Cardone, and he paid the money. Most people will never do that. I'm big on who's the number one dude out there, right? Like you've carved out your space, like the 100 Doors concept. It's a killer concept.
Thank you.
And as soon as I started looking, I was like, that's a killer concept. So people need to come to you when they want to know how to do this, because you've done it. And they need to spend the money and invest in themselves to learn how to do it, because the return's going to be ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Yes, I know.
And it just changes your life. Like, I love to have peace of mind. And this whole thing with like being financially free, it feels incredible, but at the same time, it's worth it.
Yeah.
And if you have enough self-worth and you think you're worth it, go all in and see what happens.
Yeah, if you could build a concept, I don't know if there's a such thing as indestructible wealth, but that should be every person's goal.
Agreed.
Build some indestructible wealth so you don't have to worry about it. There's so much anxiety, man. I see people every day that want to be in my coaching programs, well, I don't have enough money. You know, it's constant. And I never understood, why do people talk about money so much? Because I live in the South, and we don't talk about money much. Like, I've never had a conversation growing up in my house about money, right?
Yep.
So, but it hurts my heart when our salespeople talk to so many people in a day that want me to be their coach, and then they're like, I can't even afford $99. And I'm like, man, this is not going to change. We can have this conversation today, or we can have it 6 months from today. So cut out eating at Longhorn Steakhouse, cut out drinking on the weekend, cut out something.
$5 coffee a day,
and put it into
buy
this.
a $500 program a month.
Yes, like I borrowed $2,500 from my mom at 25 years old to go get certified in those 7 habits. I didn't have the money, but I found the money, and then I paid her back, and that $2,500 has helped me produce millions of dollars just knowing those 7 habits.
Agreed.
So that's, you and I are in alignment. So thank you for today. Thank you for coming in on Saturday.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you, man. We're gonna be longtime friends.
Agreed.
And partners. I'm sure somewhere on something. You're gonna have me buying a bunch of stuff.
That's right. I love Coach Burt. I'm an out fan. You guys go follow him, and we will see you guys next time. What's happening, everybody? Today on the Andy Dane Carter Show, we have a special guest in the house, a friend of mine, a fellow real estate agent, real estate professional, investor, my homie David Goodwin.
What's up, everybody? I'm super excited to be on this show and talk real estate and investments with a gentleman who's brought a great deal of value to me personally and my family. He's been a mentor of mine and someone that I've learned a great deal from, so I'm excited to get started.
Super pumped to have him. So we've been working on this podcast to have him here for a long time. He's got a very successful real estate brand, and he's now going all in on his brand and his marketing. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you might see his guy off the frame, but he's being followed around today, and he's videoing content. He's putting out his message to the market to do the things that we've been talking about for just over a year. And it's not just for business. A big part of it is the legacy play, where God forbid if he gets hit by a car when he leaves here, his kids will have tons of content to know exactly who their dad was. So that's a big reason why I put up content every day, for that exact reason.
That was something I learned early on from you, and I never forgot it. It was that you were saying your kids, and I used it in a recent post, and it really reminded me of that's why I'm doing this. I don't know much about my grandpa. I don't know much about my ancestry, and I don't really know anything. So that my kids and these generations can go back and see who I was, how I showed up, what I did. That's a generational impact that we have the privilege of the opportunity to showcase that other people really just didn't.
I know, and it's a responsibility. I feel an overwhelming responsibility to be documenting this stuff because it's so easy. And either you're not going to do it because you're afraid, or you're not going to do it because you're lazy. Both of those things you can fix.
So how did you overcome that? Because that's there was a big part of me not wanting to share a story or not filming because I felt that it didn't come off perfect, and so I would just delete it, or it was just, that part was hard because I was, so concerned about what is this image that I'm projecting and how is it going to be perceived, and then I just through hanging out with you and seeing how you were doing it, just said, let's just let it rip and go for it. And the response I've gotten back from people was, this is cool, keep doing more.
I know, and you're doing it consistently now, so you're going to get more and more data from other people to know what direction to go. That was been my whole journey. Like, there was stuff I thought was going to be awesome, and everybody was going to love it, and this is great, and I'm so smart, and no one gave a shit. So I just listened to the feedback that I got from the market and my friends and my peers, especially in the beginning. But I used the fear that I had as fuel. So I was afraid I was going to be left behind. Right. So that fear for me was stronger than the fear of fucking up.
Yeah.
And then I also realized, what's the worst that's going to happen? Someone's going to make fun of me.
Yeah.
Oh darn, my friends are going to bag on me. My family's going to think I'm insane. So what? I don't want to be 90 years old and say, like, what would have happened if? How would my life look different if? My life in 2 years is unrecognizable to what it was before. And it's all documented now.
Right.
So, like, it's not something that I've, like, you know, thought about doing. You can see it. You see it every single day. I've gone all in with my life.
Yeah.
And I'm documenting it. The good, the bad, the ugly, the suck, the wins, the losses, you guys are going to see it. Because it's what's really important to me. So before we dive too far into that, because that's where we're going to go, let the listeners kind of know who you are as a person, who you are as a man, who you are as a husband. But before we even hit that, who were you as the boy? Like, who were you as young David Goodwin?
So I grew up as a hockey player and playing sports, everything outdoors. So my childhood was very lucky to grow up in Belmont Shore and just be at the beach and just really enjoying that amazing lifestyle. And had some, my father wasn't really around, so early on I grew up with a single mom, and in that area most of those families had, you know, 2 parents in the household. So we weren't able to afford a lot of the things that other kids could. But my mom always said, you know, treat people with respect and always show up in a big way and just, you know, just do the right thing and surround yourself with great people, and that's what you'll become. And that always stuck with me. So my friends, I made sure that they were the best they could. Of course, we get in trouble when you're little kids and doing knucklehead stuff, but
still get in trouble.
yeah, and just seeing those families and then use their parents and mostly those dads as role models to see what they were doing in business, and then stayed continuing playing hockey and some football, and then eventually had lots of different jobs going through that path of, you know, from selling real estate to working at a lumber yard to selling door-to-door AT&T phone service to insurance sales. And it was just a major journey that I learned a lot about myself, especially in those early years where I was door knocking. That's really where I got really good at talking to people, and then later on the skills of actually not making it about myself, because early on it was all about me, and then learning how, like, when I talk to people, it's really to hear their story and understand where they come from, and then I can better help them. And that was a very, like, a fundamental shift in me as a person, is finding a way to really pry out of people their story, where they're at, what they're doing, why they're doing it, where they're going, and then see, like you, how my network could potentially help empower them. And then it wasn't really asking for business, it was them bringing me business.
And it's such a big piece so many people miss in sales.
Yeah.
They're not listening for how they can solve their problem. They're waiting for their chance to talk to sell you something. Most people don't want to be sold. Like, they want you to fix a problem, which you've gotten really good at, and you've honed this skill over years of selling stuff, either straight to them in a store or door to door to door for a service. So you've been in sales for a long time, and you got really comfortable having somebody slam a door in your face.
Yeah, I had a great trainer. I was going head to head with her at AT&T. There's 3,000 reps. I was usually within the top 10. This week I ended up being within the top 5. Had the number 1 spot. I'm thinking I'm gonna get it. This week I got this, and I called my manager, seeing where I was. He's like, "You're ahead right now." He goes, "Keep on it." So I went out, and then she ended up getting like 67 sales that week, and I had like 55. And I had a chance to talk to her, and I was like, "How do you do it? What do you do? What's your secret sauce?" And she goes, "Well, I love it when they say no." I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, yeah, because once I get the no's out of the way, then it's just I'm that much closer to a yes.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first time I really the whole
Mindset.
numbers game, mindset, it all started clicking at that point in time. And then I just started not taking those no's as personal rejection, like I'm a bad person and I'm not good at this. As it's just like some people just aren't ready, and there's no knock on me, it's nothing on them, it's just
Don't
not
take
the
it
right
personal.
time. Don't take it personal, man. Just enjoy the experience of meeting new people. That's why door to door is so amazing, because you get face to face. Actually people are more likely, that's also why we door knock in groups, because if it's just you at the door and no one's around, someone might be a total asshole to you because no one's looking. But when you have a couple people, that's why door knocking in groups is great. They're going to look around and go, maybe I'm not going to, be too crazy with this person. And in person, they're also going to open up. And when I door knock, I just look around and see when I'm walking up, is there newspapers piled up? What kind of cars in the driveway? How does the house look? When they open the door, what type of stuff? Is there artwork on the wall? Do they have pets? All that stuff, it allows me to kind of move that conversation in a way that I can create that common thread. And once you have a commonality with somebody, it's easy to chop it up with them because
There's a connection.
There's a connection. If you don't find that connection, you're dust.
And so many people are petrified of going door to door doing anything. So you were able to, master that.
Yeah.
And he made it sound really easy just now. He's like, okay, so I'm gonna roll up to the house, I'm gonna look what kind of car it is. As soon as you open the door, I'm gonna be nice and polite and kind. I'm also looking past them at stuff I can use to help, because you're trying to help them. Sometimes they don't know it yet, but you're actually there to help.
I'm there to help.
You're there to help. And this is why Dave teaches these incredible door knocking boot camps, because it's a learned skill. Like, there's so many people that'll go, especially in the space of real estate, and I mentor a lot of them. Like, oh, I went out and knocked 20 doors. Did you? Did you really? Or did you kind of walk through a neighborhood past 20 houses?
Yeah.
It's very different when you line up a definitive intention.
Yeah.
He's very intentional about his door knocking. He brings people for a reason to basically soften the blow of the who is this fucking guy at my door? What's he trying to sell me? Well, his service is actually going to help you a great deal, save you money and make you money. You just don't know it yet. And we're going to get into that.
Yeah.
So these skills that you've learned, sales,
Mm-hmm.
you then just focused it on selling bigger stuff that costs more.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It just a lot of people knock on doors and talk to people about, hey, do you want to sell your house? I'm genuinely interested on how did you land in a $5 million home?
I get it.
$2 million, whatever. How did you get to this point? And that's the story that I want to know, because that leads into them owning, a business. Do they own the building that they run their business out of? Are they diversified and have other investments, apartment buildings, strip malls? And a lot of residential guys are so one-dimensional. They just fail to ask that question, just leave money on the table for guys like us that come in and ask those questions. Yep.
And this is the part where so many people tell you, especially in the space of real estate, and this is kind of specific for certain people, but I think it can be learned and trained. They literally teach you to be hyper-focused on one space of real estate. And I've always had a problem with this since I got started in real estate.
Me too.
They're like, you're going to sell homes, or you're going to be a listing specialist, or you're going to work with first-time home buyers, or you're going to do both. Dun, dun, dun.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations, you sell condos, townhouses, and houses. You can build a gigantic career just doing that. That's great.
Yep.
For me, I'm always like, well, what's that? What's over there? What's probate? What's commercial? What's industrial? What's land? And we're talking about a deal yesterday. That's a huge piece of land that you have under contract.
Yeah.
And it's zoned ag, and we're trying to figure out how to squeeze it, right?
Right.
You only get good at that kind of stuff by trying different things. So I've always had a problem with, why should I only do residential? I like commercial. Commercial has a lot of money in it. A lot of people that own a $5 million house probably own a strip mall.
Yeah.
Or they own some multifamily real estate. Are they going to let the property manager list it? Or am I with my team?
Leaving people they just fail to ask.
The opportunities are everywhere.
You're already in front of them.
And Dave is really, really, really good at disarming people, because he's a nice guy and he's kind, and you can tell.
Yeah.
He's not that hey, he's not that guy. And that is a skill, again, that you had to learn. Maybe give them some examples of why it's important for you to like have 1 foot in residential and then 1 foot in commercial.
I don't want to be one-dimensional. A lot of brokers that I worked with in the past, they were just like, focus on this, and if it's commercial, refer it to someone that's going to specialize, you know, that just does that. And I said, well, why would I not learn that skill? Why would I, you know, I'm an investor. I want to invest, and so the only way to learn it is by like finding those deals and pitching them, and just be resourceful enough to ask questions to people that have already done it. I didn't have 200 apartment buildings under my belt, but my first deal was an apartment building, and I got it off a for rent sign. Most people don't even think of calling for rent signs, but I called for rent signs and got this lady who was in a situation that didn't need to sell. Now, boom, there's my first deal. So that's where I really got the bug to sell real estate, because I was working selling phone service or insurance, and then I got this check, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I could work a whole year and not make that kind of money. And that's where it was. I saw these doors open up and all these things that I imagined and wanted in my life. I felt like real estate was that vehicle that could get me there.
I felt the exact same way. I was like, wait a minute. This math makes sense to me. There's no ceiling. I could make $6 million a day, or I could make $6 million in a 30-year career. Yeah. It was up to me.
Right.
And everything in between. I liked the way that felt, especially because I was raised very similar to you. Like, I didn't have much. We really struggled. And so those small little wins, they gave me confidence to do more. Mm-hmm. But I was always willing to learn. I always wanted to be around people that knew more than me. I still do. Like, all my mentors are light years ahead of me.
That's why I changed offices. That's why I went out and started, my own brand is similar to you. I worked with other brokers, and I saw that, and then this is no knock on the other, there's a lot of great brokerages out there, and it worked out for the time being. I just noticed I was spending a lot of money in split money that went to the brokerage, and it helped them grow that brand for them. Mm-hmm. And what I realized that wasn't really doing anything for me. So I did something crazy after talking with you about a year ago, and I said, you know what, I'm going to make this switch, and I'm going to take that money that I'm giving, say, $50,000, $60,000 of split money, and I'm going to move that money and infuse it directly into marketing and branding and
your brand.
And the difference has been lights out, man. It's been crazy good. I've been able to do things that I've always wanted to do, things that people told me couldn't be done. You can't be a hybrid agent. You can't do commercial and residential. And here I am, got a $4 million listing in Naples. We got a $10 million land deal. I just closed on a $2.5 million triple net Jack in the Box. Closed on a 14-unit apartment building. Those are all so many different spaces that...
And this is why Dave and I get along. Because I've been doing that since I started in real estate. Like, I wanted to do all different things, and it worked.
Yeah.
Like, what's the worst that's going to happen? I'm going to find out I suck at selling land. Cool, then I'll stop. But at some point in my career, somebody might need some help from me, and they might want to sell land. Yep. So now I have that tool in my tool belt.
And like a specialist is it's so affordable to pay a specialist. So on some of these deals where I was, where do I find that valuation on an apartment building? I knew those, most of the apartment. With land, it was a whole nother animal. So I got with a land appraiser and paid a specialist who could underwrite that and give me that information back. I paid for it. And then all of a sudden I had that expert kind of witness, if you will, that gave me everything I needed, all the ammunition. And then when I went to my meeting, I killed it. And it was because I was willing to take that step and admit what I didn't know, but not be like, I'm stuck, I can't do this deal, go find someone else.
You call the expert.
Call the expert. Bring in the experts, and then they gave me the facts. Then I repackaged that material, brought it in, closed it.
And that's literally what Dave does. He has a laundry list of experts, and so do I. Like, they're in my pocket in my phone.
Yep.
And that's a perfect segue for maybe how you got this listing in Naples, which is one of like the most highly desirable places here in Long Beach. He went in there and crushed and explained to them how exactly you did that.
That one was a really fun one. So Joseph James, good friend of mine, he's an appraiser. He's been doing real estate as well. he brought this deal to me and he said, hey, I got this client and I think they want to sell. The trust is taking it over. I said, let's get in front of them right away. Give me the address, pulled all the comps, put together a great presentation, got in front of them, and I'm thinking, before I go in, I always assess like who's the person I'm meeting with, so that I'm not, you know, overdressed or not underdressed. So I went in casual because they're cleaning out a house right now. So I walked in like more like them as opposed to some authority figure that's going to come in and crush them and take this listing. I just thought that was BS. So I walked in, got personal with them, got to understand what they were trying to accomplish, and then I see all these moving things going on. They've got boxes everywhere, all this stuff, and the lady's stressed out. And this was this shift and I jumped it. She was on the phone with a moving company, and then they were trying to get a dumpster bin dropped off, and she couldn't get it dumped until like Tuesday or Wednesday. I said, you know what? I've got one over at 303 Covina. Let me call my guy right now, Gary. I'll get you one right away. So I landed a dumpster bin within like 8 hours. It was there like the next morning. And she goes, oh my gosh. And then I go, what else do you need? She goes, I need people to move it in there. So I called John and a few other guys. I had like bodies over there right away. They're starting moving stuff out. And then she goes, well, who's going to take care of it? I got it. What else? I need a cleaning company. Boom, called Ms. Juana. Done. What else? And she goes, you're hired. Mm-hmm. And man, it was what we talk about all the time. It's adding value first. Mm-hmm. And you say it all the time, and it just resonated with me, and it's just stuck. And then worry about your effing paycheck later.
So true. Like I tell everybody the same thing. I'm like, dude, when you try to step into your client's shoes, and it's built my entire career, I always took care of my investors first.
Yeah.
No matter what. Even if the deal was a little tight, I would rather take it on the chin and make sure they were whole. And it's worked. You provide value over and over and over again, it's going to work.
Yeah.
And especially, it shines a light on your character too, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Because there's people out there that we know that they're just takers. A lot of agents, especially at a certain tier in their ego and their career, they think it's just owed to them. They think that they should just get it because who they are, who their name is, who their team is, how many closed sales they have. That's the beauty of real estate. That's never going to be the case. At any given time, somebody could come up and knock you off.
Yep. If you don't work hard. And the entitlement issue that you brought up, a lot of agents, they send out all these flyers like, oh, all these closed deals, and I don't know how much that really means to someone in that neighborhood. Like, it says that for sure you're closing deals, which is great. But unless you go, I would rather see you show up in person and say, yeah, I've closed some deals, but that doesn't really matter. What matters is I'd like to know how I can get to know you better, and I don't care about doing a deal for you right now. I'd love to see how I can put my network to work for you and help you with anything that you got going on in your life. And then let them talk about their problems and issues and challenges that they're facing, and see if you could do something for them. Maybe it's not even real estate related,
Mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden the doors open up because you're helping them.
And that's like your clients for life.
Yeah.
Like, I literally want to help families, not just the people at the top that are making the moves, but when your 22-year-old son or daughter start to buy real estate, I want you to call us.
Yeah.
And then when they want, to start buying investment properties, I want you to call us, because you wouldn't think about going anywhere else.
Yeah.
And the only way to do that is to be patient, to be humble, to over-deliver value all along the way. And everybody gets so hungry for those commissions.
It doesn't. Making money is a residual effect of us doing our job. And for me, success is working with one of my clients' kids at some point in time when they're ready to go. And that is because, like you said, doing the job, adding value, and then because of that, they go, hey, I got a guy that's going to look out for you. Not a guy that's just trying to make a commission and close a deal, put a sign up and get your house sold. That's anybody can do that, man.
Right.
What are you going to do beyond that makes you different from anybody that they've ever met in their life? And I don't know if personally a lot of people don't look at that as this huge opportunity to show up in a bigger way than they ever imagined. And then the endorphins and all the energy that comes from seeing somebody else win on a big level and know that you played a part of that because you cared enough to ask further questions, dig into how you can help them, and then watch it go.
It feels so good. And then guess what they do? They tell their friends.
Yeah.
and then they tell their friends, and then they tell all their business partners. If you just do the right thing over and over and over again, as you've done to build your career, your referrals will come. So let's get really strategic. We have a lot of real estate professionals that listen to the show,
Right.
and a lot of investors. How, without giving away like the secret sauce, how do you like to run your week? How do you like to kind of manage your deal flow? How do you go get business? Because we already know you're a good guy. We already know you over-deliver value to your clients. But how do you go and get in the living room?
It's a great question. So the best way I could say that is I rate the people that I have in my system that are potential clients as like A1s, A2s, A3s. A1s, if I don't get back to these people with answers right away, they're going to work with someone else.
Correct.
So those are red hot. They have to get contacted. I need to bring them value instantly.
Okay, how do they get into your system? Let's go like freezing cold, they might know you,
Right.
to they actually get put into your system.
So door knocking is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
We use a platform called Sync, Commissions Inc., and that's a lead gen CRM that we do Google and Facebook and Instagram ads, and then those leads come in. They're wired in on a phone call, and then we have some data on them. So it's literally just see if you can close them and book an appointment. And then some referral, sphere of influence, and that's just contacting past clients, and then doing it in a way where, like, in the morning, wake up, get kids off to school, start 8:30, and then from 8:30 to 9:30 it's getting on the phones, calling everybody back, and then some follow-up calls going into like 10:30 where I'm circling back on deals that I already have going. But the second you get a lead, this is where I failed miserably, honestly, Andy. I wish I would have known this. I wish someone would have just told me how important that CRM is because I have so many leads that were just put on like pieces of paper. They never got put into any kind of formal system. I had a massive loss recently, like a $7 million sale. I was in touch with the guy, and I even showed him the house next door. And I was clicking on parcels, man, and I saw his name. My heart just dropped. No way he bought that house.
This happens to all of us. So if this is you,
It was just
you can learn from our pain and our losses. Listen, it's cool to have a book. I have a book, it goes with me everywhere. I have a book in my car. I have a book at my house. I have notepads because I'm old school, 42. I like to take notes. That's awesome for me. I also have a team put everything in a computer.
Yeah, you have to put that stuff in. I called him, he said, hey, and even just having a simple drip system, he goes, I couldn't find your phone number. I have all these Davids. I'm like, there's only one.
Now you want to kill yourself.
There's only one David, bro. What are you talking about? He goes, And it was just, it sucked, but it was the worst but best learning experience.
Now it's never going to happen again.
You meet them, they've got to go in the CRM. When you call them, you update the notes. When you pick up the phone next time and talk to them, you have notes on the last conversation that you had with them, so you know where to pick up. It just you're more familiar and better off, and the reminders to call and when to call. Yeah, anyone that's building a business and wanting to grow and scale it, you have to have a system, a CRM. I don't care what you use, but you have to have something. You got to have something to put it in.
And I'm so glad you said that last part. If you're a person building a business, this is for you.
Yeah.
If you're farting around with real estate and you're doing 3 to 5 deals a year and this is not really your full-time thing, you don't really want to build a business, maybe you don't. Maybe just join a team and this is kind of fun for you. You are your entire source of income. This is a business, and if you don't look at it as such, it'll crush you, and you'll piss money away.
And it's, even if you're doing, like you said, part-time 3 or 5 deals a year, those 3 or 5 deals, if you do them correctly, and you ask for referrals after, and you put them in your system, and you stay in touch with them, and you send some emails following up with them, you can't just like forget about somebody for a year or 2 and call them back. Or when you get a new license, I love this. They get a new license and they want to call everybody that they know and tell them that they're in real estate, and they haven't cared about them for 5 years, but now they want to tell them and make them do deals with them. I had a guy call me. He's like, I just got a license. I'm going to call everybody I know, tell them I'm in real estate. And I said, don't do that, man.
Give them value.
Call those people, say hello with them, see if you can get in front of them, have a cup of coffee, talk with them about what they're doing in their life, see if you can add value for them. Then, if they're polite and they respect you, they'll most likely ask you what you're doing. If they don't, then they don't, and then don't bring it up.
Just, well, yeah, and there's
We'll bring it up, but
yeah, but there's like, and I always forget what the math is. It's something for every one deal you close, that person should spit you off 3 to 5 referrals in the life of the relationship. So for every deal that you close, if you do what Dave's saying, if you're constantly touching them, if you're constantly providing value, you're constantly on emails, you're constantly trying to follow up with them, at some point you're going to get referred business.
yeah.
And statistically speaking, I believe it's either 3 or 5. So if you're doing 10 deals a year, you potentially have a lot of business coming.
Yeah. If you
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 50 pieces of business. And if you do business in Southern California, where your average commission is 10 grand,
yeah.
it's good money.
If you care, I mean, it just shows like whether if it's easy to say, hey, I care about you, or hey, I love you, and hey, I'm going to be here for you. But a lot of people just don't show it. They don't show up for these people, and they only show up when they need a paycheck. And it just, I think why real estate agents get a bad rap.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're only in for the paycheck. Well, because most people show up in that way, and it's true.
That's because that's how they show up in their life.
Yeah, but it makes it easier for guys like us.
That's right. And especially because like there's going to be a shakeup with the market. It's coming.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the people that have been in real estate for 5 or 6 years that have no idea what happened in 2007, 8, and 9 are going to get a rude awakening.
I've read an article about this inverse yield curve. We're in the potentially year 2, going into the 3rd year. It's kind of what will happen when the market when we had our recession. So I think it's definitely something we got to really keep a close eye on. It's also why we have to be careful on how we advise our clients and making sure that if it's for sure right, and if it's an investment, making sure that you're buying right. Because as you know, when you're doing a flip or an investment, you don't make money when you buy, you make money, or you make money when you buy, not when you sell.
That's right.
So just paying close attention. Single family, a lot of people, because of all these flip shows and investment stuff, they are viewing real estate as a short-term investment. It's always been designed as a long-term investment.
Mm-hmm.
So buying something that you can afford, putting money down. If the market turns, maybe it's 15-20%. If your money's in the stock market, you could see half your half of your gains go away.
Mm-hmm.
So diversifying, getting in real estate. So we call a lot of people that have money in the market in tech stocks, and then see if they'd like to diversify and put their money in real estate. So I think that's a great way for investors to, if something does change, which sounds like it is coming, to have their money in other platforms or other investments.
Protected.
Yeah.
Like, I love the fact that this particular asset, we'll call it like a 12-unit building in Long Beach, right?
Yeah.
And I lose $600,000 just on paper. But my asset is being protected by the tenants covering the mortgage every month through rent.
Yeah.
The same scenario in the stock market.
You got nothing, man.
Nothing.
It's all
You're
gone.
sitting there grabbing your ankles.
You're wiped out.
I don't understand why you would not do this part. Like, the real estate portion of it is such a long wealth play.
Yeah.
Like, landlord, and you guys have heard me say this a million times, landlord comes from the term lord of the land. Like, this is medieval. This is old.
Right.
The wealthy own the dirt. The wealthy own the buildings. And repeat.
Yeah.
For thousands of years.
So why do
So
people
now the
resist this so much?
stock market that's been around for what, a couple hundred, not even, like, you're putting all of, yes, I know you can make money, yes, that's great, yes, you don't want to educate yourself on how to invest correctly, so you give your money to somebody else, that's for you, fine. I'm just telling you what's worked for me and my family, and what's worked for a lot of other people. And if you start doing research on the wealthiest people on the planet, they have a gigantic foothold in real estate.
Yeah, because it's what insulates their wealth long term.
It's their piggy bank.
Yeah.
Like, if they want to go and invest $6 million into a company because they got some great idea with some buddies and they're going to partner, they don't need to go to the bank. They can. Or they can go to their asset and go pull that money out and invest. And then there's literally endless options. The tax benefits that I could do a whole show on. And there's so much to it. So that's some of the stuff that Dave brings to the table is he's worked with those kind of people, and he understands the value, and he's going to shoot you straight. It's like, here's what I would do, and I do this with my whole family. Like, if it was me and my money for my family, this is what I would do.
Yeah.
You don't have to listen to me. I'm just telling you what I would do.
That's why we see a lot of families that are moving their money. They're selling their apartment buildings in California and they're moving out of state. Of course, building to land value, you can't depreciate land. You can depreciate the building, and they go out of state because the land cost is actually a lot lower. So then they have a better depreciation schedule. So it's actually they have more sheltered income. So that's why we're seeing a lot of people go from California out of state. You can get better cash flow. The only thing is the appreciation aspect that a lot of California investors have really enjoyed is there's the California appreciation. You can't match that anywhere else.
It's ridiculous. That's why it's important to diversify.
Yeah.
Like, there's plays that we have that don't cash flow that much. The cap rates are not all that great. I just know they're going to be cows. And they are.
Yep.
And then I have other ones, they're probably going to go up $100,000 in 20 years. But they don't care. It's income.
Yeah, great cash flow at the gate.
Right. And it was a great point that you made. And I have a better depreciation schedule on a much, much smaller asset.
The challenge I've seen in the out of state is if you're going out of state and I personally, because I'm investing in Reno, I think that's a great market to go into, and it's because we have family out there so we can manage those buildings. But making sure that before you buy out of state, is who's going to help oversee that management. Management fees I've seen in 10%,
15.
Yeah, so if they're getting me people, great tenants, and they're then awesome.
Then it's worth it. But you have to vet, and it's so important because the most important thing is the acquisition.
Yeah.
The second most, and pretty darn close, is who's going to manage it. And who are they? What are their intentions? What are their morals? Vet them just as much as you would vet the deal.
Otherwise, you're going to get bogus bills left and right. Hey, the water heater went out. Did it? The air conditioning is not working. Is it?
Is their brother-in-law a plumber and they just had some invoice created?
So how do you know if you're
I can
not there?
horror story you guys into never wanting to invest in real estate, trust me. But the upside is ridiculous. And we like to build our own teams.
Yeah.
So, and it's a hack I talk about on this show constantly, is you can go into a city where you don't know anybody. You can find some new real estate agents that aren't doing that many deals that might want to manage a building or two for even $300-400 a month.
Yeah.
Because their rent is $800 a month. So if they can manage 2 of my buildings and I'm going to cover their biggest bill, now I got boots on the ground, I got a new hungry agent, I have somebody who I can train up to now do deals, so when we do want to buy buildings there, they can represent us as the buyer.
Right.
So now I'm making them money, and I have a loyal person now.
Yeah, it's good.
Because I've changed their life. And now we have a little team of 3 or 4 or 10 that property manage, they bird dog, they find us deals. When, like Aunt Susie passes away, they bring that deal to me.
And that's because the value. You're bringing them value, so it comes back to you. And then those relationships, starting them off, and when people remember when they didn't maybe have as much, and someone was willing to take maybe a risk on them and show them the business and teach them the tricks and the hacks and the stuff that can help them provide for their family. There's so much that's just so powerful.
It's important. And we went on a crazy tangent. So, and that's what we do on the show. So you're welcome. Let's go back to the CRM.
Yep.
How they go in.
Okay.
And then what? So you have I think you said it's A1 and then down?
Yeah, so they get rated. So we need to know who's ready to go now and which ones they might be 3-6 months out. So those people, you can't forget about them either, because if you call them in 6 months, something changed. So I'd say almost you have to talk to people once a month. It could be, and though I hate when people do, hey, I'm just calling to check in. Hey, I'm just circling back.
Change those words.
Yeah, like, you're not their parents, man. Like, seriously, what are you checking in on? You checking in on them, making sure that they're still there?
Yeah, no, I'm good.
No,
I'm not good. Not checking in on me.
Bring them value. Call and say, hey, I know you're looking in Belmont Shore. This one just came up, or hey, this one just went pending. Or just give them some information that's valuable for them, so that they go, oh, that's cool. It's helpful information I didn't know. The checking in to see how you're doing stuff is just a joke, and that's how you get people just as.
And they can smell it.
Yeah.
And they can smell like all this, they don't really care about me. They want to find out when they can sell me.
How close are they to making the decision? And that's just not the way you do things. And then, of course, the personal and professional touch. So when you talk to people, you need to first, on a personal level, figure out how you can add value for them, and then the professional stuff will come in later on you doing business with them. But if you can't show value for them on a personal level, it's really hard to break through, especially with people that you don't know, like cold call. I mean, they already know why you're calling. So, like, I have a lady that I just called yesterday on Sync, and she's in Huntington Beach. She's going to buy around 750, 800, 900,000. And I just dove into who she is, what she's doing, and she goes, "Oh my gosh, what's going on in your life?" She goes, "Oh, I got these dentures, going on, and I'm going to sue this doctor." She's just going on a rampage. I said, "Well, are you, or do you have a lawyer?" She goes, "Well, I can't find one." Gave her an attorney. She goes, "I need someone to talk about this on the press and media and blast this guy." I said, "Why don't you look at there's these
Long Beach Local
websites."
News.
Yeah, gave her a contact. And then after I did all that, she was like, "Well, what were you calling about in the first place?" I said, "I'm calling. You're using our platform to look at properties, and I've got a property I wanted to look at, but I wanted to help you first. It sounded like there were some more pressing issues." And she goes, "Yeah, that was cool. Thanks for doing that. Yeah, we are looking, and we've been looking for about a year now. Gosh, that's a long time to be looking. What's been the hang up? Oh, I can't find this. I can't find that." She basically, long story short, she's looking for a house that doesn't exist. She is not going to live in Huntington at that price. So I showed her a few different areas where she could get that house that she wanted at the price that she could afford, and I booked her for an appointment today at 5 o'clock. So I'll go show her house, 775, 2,500 square foot home. It's close to the freeway, and it's just...
And repeat.
And repeat. Go to the next call. Go to the next call.
If you're a good person, this works.
Yeah.
If you're a scumbag, this will expose you.
Yeah, because it's not authentic. Like, I truly want to help each person that I get a chance to. I look at it as a personal challenge. Like, am I truly that resourceful person with this mass network that I have? Am I really that guy? And can I really pull this off? And I look at it as a personal challenge to go out there and find them those people. And you can't just Google and just throw randos, because if that person doesn't do the job, it's on your for sending them a bad lead or a bad person. So
you don't want to ever refer anybody you haven't vetted yourself.
yeah, you got to vet these people. So the contractors I refer, the attorneys that I send them to, these are people that I've done business with, that I know personally, that and if I don't know, I'm not going to speak to it. I can't help you on that. I really don't know anybody for that, and I'll try to find another area in their life that I can add value with her. Maybe I couldn't help on the attorney side, or plugging her in with someone that she can file a report with, but maybe there's some other aspects of it, and it ended up being the real estate stuff plus giving her some connections to talk to.
I love it. So let's talk to the 1 year agent to like 3 years, and they're in that place where like they might want to not do real estate anymore, and they're doing just good enough where like they can feel it's right around the corner. What would you give some advice to them on how to make that shift? And we talked about the CRM, which is super important.
We'll get more to that because I need to speak more to the system.
Go ahead.
So the CRM that we use is HubSpot. We still have Sync, which is a CRM / lead gen, but we have deals. We put the actual deal in there, and then we assign tasks. So in a deal, I can't do every single aspect of it, so I'll assign tasks to my team members, which could be pulling comps or setting them up in Sync so that they can get automatic leads sent to them, getting that buyer or seller to download our app. There's all these tasks that go on into it, and then setting a timeline and where they're at in the deal stage. So they might just be fresh, just met them. There's the next stage is book an appointment. So knowing, I try to visualize where I'm at with each person and what the next step is. So when I do call them, I'm not just checking in. I'm actually calling with real purpose. Last time we talked about you getting that house. Did you get set up with that lender yet to get pre-approved? That's the talk that I'm going to keep having with them until they do that part. Most buyers buy backwards, as you know. They walk into an open house, they find that perfect home, and
then they call their lender.
And then they call their lender, and then by then, if the property's priced right, and then it's sold and it's done, and someone they get their heart broken. So, and
it's a great tool for them to learn.
Yeah, and if you want to learn the hard way, just keep walking into open houses not pre-approved, and then you'll get your ass handed to you.
That's right.
So yeah, CRM, that part's really important. So station to station, moving, having that to be able to visualize where that person's at, where they're going to be going, so that you call with purpose, so that you can walk them down that path of home ownership or investing. And then having in that system, it has different tasks and people that I can appoint, and I can set up drip systems so they get automatic information, and then tightening them down so that I know what they're actually looking for. And because a lot of people, they just want to live in this certain area, and then all of a sudden they buy in a completely different area, and sometimes they don't even use the agent they've been talking with because, well, you didn't show me that property. Well, you never told me you were looking. No, you never asked if I was looking at other areas. Mm-hmm. You never even showed me different areas.
That's right.
So just asking more questions and getting them to open up and just showing them different spots. If you're trying something for a year like this lady was, I'm sorry, it's just not working. You got to try something different. You can't do the same thing and expect it to be sold.
And that's why they call you.
Yes.
And then you're good.
And you.
Yeah. No, I stay very busy, but I love what I do. Like, I love to help, and it's very apparent. Like, you can see all through my Instagram and YouTube, I truly care about people to help, and it shows. It shows in my work, and it shows in like how I show up as a dad and how I show up as a husband, and it's important for me. Okay, so let's maybe close the show with some stuff that you're doing now, which you've already gone all in on your marketing and branding.
Yep.
Where do you see the Goodwin Network, and where do you see your team and your brand at in the next 24 months?
Oh, that's a great question. So, when I'm looking to the future, I see that there's the systems in place now. I have to refine them to the point where they automate, and a lot of the manual labor that's still happening pulls me away from my prospecting.
It's because it's clunky, right?
Yeah. So what we're working on right now is automating the system to where when a lead comes in, there's all these checkdowns and things that happen in order to move them from the next station to the next station, and then making sure that we demystify the real estate process so that people know what they're getting into and what to expect. A lot of people, when they buy real estate, they really don't know, and the agents a lot of times just push them through stuff, and then they get lost, and then sometimes you just lose them altogether because they just get scared. And so people, when they're scared, it's because they don't know. So I think the next level in the next 24 months is really laying out those steps that we can really educate the buyers and the sellers on the process, so that when they walk through, they know from this station to that station what to expect of us, laying out very clear expectations so they know what they can, all the way along the path of what's going to happen. I think that's the biggest thing that we're looking to accomplish in the next 24 months is to actually look at real estate not as just from a transactional standpoint, but as an educator on how we can help these people really understand it.
Right. And so it's like an experience. Here's what you're going to experience with me and my team.
You nailed it. It's the experience. Right? We really want to focus on that experience and making that experience like no other, where they walk in, they're like, man, like that was an amazing experience, and these guys are the best. Because we know if you don't do it right, they're going to tell 100 people, and they're going to go on Yelp, and they're just going to tattoo you. But if you do it right, hopefully you get one or two people that they say some good things about you.
And it's just not that hard to do your job at 100%. There's this quote I love. I think it's from Jerry Rice. Mm-hmm. He said something to the effect of, and I always mess this up, and I had the pleasure of meeting him on the field one day. Was why wouldn't you give 100%? When it's 100% your choice. Wow. I was like, dude, that's so simple and so powerful. And I think Ben Newman, who was on the show and sitting right where you're at, he coaches like the top athletes in the world. Mm-hmm. He said that here, and I was like, I love that. That's awesome. And it's just true. Like if it's up to you, whether you're going to give 2% or 100, and it's only up to you, it's 100% up to you. Why wouldn't you do it? You're just choosing to lose.
It's easy to look at what someone has and then think that they got it easy.
The comparison game will make you lose every time.
Yeah, my uncle would always say, and this stuck with me, he goes, do what I do, get what I get. Mm-hmm. And
do I say that a lot?
Man, is that so true though. Like if you want it, you got to go after it and get it. And if you want it, best thing to do is look at the people that are already doing it and ask them questions and see how they're doing it. That's what's been great about working with you is like you're an open book and you share, hey, these are the things that I'm working on. That's why I'm sitting in this chair, Andy, is because I see what you're doing. and I see how you're open and helping and giving, and you know, these are all things that, you know, a lot of people try to charge people for, and then you're like, hey man, like, here's how you do it. I mean, they still have to go do it, but hey, here's the roadmap, and you know, here's the landmines along the way, so you can avoid them.
Yeah, and that's like it's a huge part of the message, and thank you so much for saying that, because like it is a big thing. I'll give you the blueprint. You still got to build the house, but I'll show you how to do it. And it's because, dude, I went through so many peaks and valleys. If I can help one person not have to go through that valley, then that makes me feel great. Like, I don't care if it's a client, I don't care if it's a friend, I don't care if it's someone who I'm mentoring. Like, I like to make sure you're going to get where you want to go as fast as possible with the least amount of bruises.
And it's from listening. It's like the reason why I have friends and clients that are a lot older than me. It's because these are like the old wise men around the campfire sharing the stories that I get to plug into my business. And that's why I do a lot, like right now we're doing a lot of talking, but when I'm around these people, I'm actually very quiet, and I'm just letting it all come in, and I want to know what, when, where, why, what, you know, what were these defining moments in their life where they made these changes that, you know, created this amount of success. And when you're door knocking, when you're talking to people, you get real. I got caught up in the initial stages of like following up on them with all this information, especially when I was a new agent, like, oh, I know this, I know all this stuff, and gosh, they don't really care. Like, why are they who they are, and what are they doing that's made them successful, and just get those little golden nuggets out of them. And then when you go and talk to them later, gosh, it's great, because people that are successful love to talk about their story.
That's why podcasting is so great.
So why are you not creating more opportunities for these customers that you want to get to share and talk about their story?
It's a way to get in front of somebody who might teach you the little thing that will change your business forever. I've been around a lot of high-level people, and they all are kind of the same way. Like, they're like, go find somebody who's done it and ask them a ton of questions.
So why I guess it's, I don't know why.
That's the first place you start.
Start there, and everything else just falls into place.
And then if you can work for them for free, work for them for free, and get as close to the sun as you can, learn as much as you can, and then apply.
Yeah, put it to work, and you'd be surprised. Most people, at first it was for me, like, there was some intimidation about going up to people that had all this, and I'm like, why is this guy going to give me any time? I think it's because those people remember what it was like when they got started, and they were doing what I'm doing. And they're like, you know what? Let me give this guy a couple minutes and share a few stories, and that's their legacy too.
And that's exactly what I'm doing with the space of digital right now.
Yeah.
I did 3 podcasts yesterday from kids, like 16, 18, and 19, from all over the country, and that was just yesterday. And they hit me up and they asked me pretty much the same questions, because they all had like the same questions, because they're in the same age range and they're trying to figure it out. But I knew I could help them. And they asked, and then I said yes, which was hard for them to ask, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And then we do a show, and now they're sending me text messages and DMs, and like, there's this one kid, he knocked on my door at my house here in Long Beach. And
I like him already.
Fast forward, well, he was selling like a pest control thing door to door for like spiders and ants or whatever. It was a service, and he was crushed. He was a hustler, I could tell. I invited him in my house. We started talking. My wife comes home. She's like, "Who's this kid in our house?" And it was like, he's a good kid. I literally handed him that book. He loved it. Told all of his friends. He just passed his real estate exam last month. Him and all of his buddies are launching their own little brokerage in Arizona. I've been mentoring him since he left my house for free.
So imagine that ripple effect if it was the opposite, where like you know, just because he just didn't do anything for him, and like how his life would have been maybe different. And I don't know if
I remember when I was starving and I just wanted knowledge. I didn't want anybody to do the work for me. Just give me a couple gems that I can run with.
It just gives me chills thinking about like how powerful we can be if we choose to, and the impact that we can if we decide to.
Being of service.
Yeah, and taking that responsibility so serious that you take it like, I'm not on my watch. Is somebody going to come across my path and I can help and I don't help? That is shitty. That is terrible. That is not how you show up. That's not what we do. So that story, and to anyone listening, think about how many people come across your path in the course of a day and where they might be at in their life, and how you just being nice and kind to them could be that absolute perfect thing that they just needed to take that next step to maybe live another day, to take another phone call, to make someone else in their life, because we're all, we're all kids of, I'm a son to my mom, and my dad, and like those people that we come across, they have people that love them too, and sometimes just a complete stranger just caring enough about them can give people the courage to take that next step and just show them a different way.
I agree, man. Mic drop, and I completely agree with you. And that's why I love what I do.
And there's my mom calling.
It's
right
fun.
now.
Yeah, there she is.
There's my mom calling.
I love it. Nothing happens by accident. So, where can everybody find you? Where can they find your website? Where can they find you on Facebook and Instagram? And
So, David at the Goodwin Network, and we have the Facebook channel, and then we're getting ready to go on YouTube and get the podcast, which we will be talking about. I need to get the name and all that stuff dialed. So, I'm looking forward to working with you on that.
nice. And go follow Dave. He's awesome. He's a great guy, super good dad, super good husband, and loves what he does. And we're going to tag all of his stuff in these show notes. What I would ask is, this is a free podcast, and we love to bring you guys value. It would mean the world to me if you would head over to iTunes, leave us a rating and a review, and just let us know how we can do better. I want to bring as much value to you as humanly possible, and the only way we know is by leaving us ratings and reviews on iTunes. Plus, it dramatically helps the podcast reach more people. So, thank you so much for your time, Mr. Goodwin.
Thank you, Andy Carter.
And you'll be seeing a lot more of Dave. We're filming, we're doing a bunch of content, so stay tuned. He's a really tall, good-looking guy in a suit. You'll see him.
Take care, guys.
We'll see you guys.